snap. I might be that mom.
He's a cocky little kid. Don't lie.
No, it was probably literally like a little bit after that. You know, like.
So at 15, you knew that you were dope.
I mean, I knew that I was different. I knew that I was a kid, because at the time there weren't many kids that could do what I do.
Right.
So at the very least, or at the very best, I was the best kid.
Well, also probably
You know
when
what
you
I'm
walked through your high school doors after coming from Japan, knowing that nobody else went to Japan.
But
you
even when
probably knew something was going
in
down.
high school, I kept it low key. A lot of people.
I'm about
didn't
to ask.
I
So
kept it low key.
how do you come back from your trip to Japan and then act like a regular kid?
Just-
and you got people hitting you all the time to go travel here and travel there.
Yeah,
But
you know
but
what?
you come back to school.
You know
just,
what really set it off? Like, I remember I was graduating high school and I was going to HCC Southeast, and then Houston Press did an article with me. And I remember I was in class and everybody had the article and I was on the front cover, and I'm just like this, like high, you know. And then everybody's looking back, you know, like, and everybody in the entire school is just walking with them, because Houston Press had like little, you know, activation little things everywhere.
Right.
So everybody had it, and after that, that's where kind of locally, everyone was like, "Damn, like I went to school."
So you never went to school like, "Yo, I'm that dude."
Nah.
Really?
People would mention it like, "Hey, you," and I'm like, "Yeah, I dance," but I never like set it to a point to where the only people that knew were like people in the main office, because I had to get letters sent to them saying, "Hey, I'm gonna miss these 2 or 3 days of school because I'm gonna be in Korea or whatever." So I had to get permission from the school. But when I was in school, I was an honor roll student. So they never.
See, I didn't know. You know?
Yeah, they never hesitated. And one of the main reasons, and I always talk about this when I get interviewed, but like one of the main reasons why I focused on being in school so much is so I can do what I want freely, and my parents can't yell at me.
Is it safe to say that if you was a world-class b-boy in high school, you would have acted different? You would have been flexing on everybody?
That's a good question. I never was a flexer, and I still don't flex now.
That's true.
Want a monster or no?
Water, if you got it.
I guess when you can do the kind of stuff that y'all can do, to me, it requires a little bit of ego. And not to take anything away from like a Rob G, who's an incredible mixer or something like that, but something about when you're a b-boy, dog. When we was growing up, that's what everybody. I started on break. I was break dancing. Come on, man.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Talking about that braggadocious.
Everybody wanted to be
man.
that guy that can do a backspin, land on your back, and do all kind
That
of flips.
freshness.
I was you jealous of the dude that can
That
do
swagger,
that. You know, when you growing up. So I remember the kids I went to school with that were b-boys, break dancers. They had a little bit of swag to them. It's you just did. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it's not on purpose. Not like they were walking around like, oh, I'm gonna tear you guys up. It's just that you walk different.
I think because having my son go here, you know,
Shout out Little General.
The Little General.
I don't know if we're supposed to be doing anything right now.
Yeah, can we go? We should
Are we
probably
supposed
go
to be?
live.
No, we already are. Like we've been.
Welcome
Welcome to episode number 4.
Okay.
We're our 2 special guests.
Sorry.
I'm walking
Things are
in and out of the
natural around
camera.
here, baby. It's all
Sorry.
good. It's all good. Shout out to Mad Hatter and Rob G.
Thank y'all for having
2
me.
legendary icons in
Not
the
me.
H-Town
That's an
hip hop
icon, and you
scene.
guys are icons.
Nah,
I'm
man.
just happy that y'all got us here.
Much love. Thank you guys for coming,
Do
man.
you need to get close to the mic?
No,
Nah, he's good. He's good. He can hear
Good.
me.
Yeah, it
Okay.
comes out good.
Yeah,
Cool.
man.
Don't
I thought
worry
you've been in this for over 20 years, man. Come on.
I don't know, man. I'm just
The video will pick it up, so if you don't hear it, it's fine.
cameras
It's
and
totally
all kinds of
fine.
stuff.
Yeah.
Nah, welcome, man.
Full-fledged
Welcome,
movie
welcome.
going on over here. Movies, mini movies, and everything.
I thought this is gonna be on iPhone.
Now, us little breakdancers got our stuff together,
Can I say
man.
something to y'all?
Yeah.
I'm proud of y'all. I know it don't mean crap. But
What you mean, bro?
Because I feel like Jeremy. I don't know if I can officially call you Jeremy. I know you probably got a B name that you.
Nah,
use.
I'm
nah,
just
it's-
Jeremy. Nah.
I don't know.
I'm just Jeremy, bro.
But just watching him, and then he had the baby and the wife.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
doing things the right way.
For sure.
And I don't know if that's part of the culture that y'all bred of doing things the right way. Like you talk
Yeah.
about making good grades and making
Yeah.
all A's. You know what I'm saying? Just to watch you guys, start something and continue to see it blossom. It's not. Come on, man. You've been b-boying your whole life. You've
Yeah.
made a career out of being what do you put on your application when you try to get out? B-boy.
The good thing is I don't have to put in that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but when you get a house, when you do credit cards, when somebody's checking your credit. So what's your occupation?
dope ass dancer.
It's the same thing for y'all, though, man. It's the same thing for y'all.
DJ, though,
we
man.
admire what you guys do, and it's a circle of hip hop.
Well, thank you, man.
It means a lot
But,
you.
you know, just coming from us, you know, we wanted to bring you guys on the show just because you guys are legends in this whole scene, man. And I even think in the country, because I know the Matt Hatta morning show is one of the hottest shows. Morning shows in the country, man. And I was telling Jeremy, I ain't trying to make you feel old or anything, dog. But I remember, I remember.
But I'm gonna do it. That's what he means.
Hold on.
I'm gonna make you feel old.
Hold on, Hatta. You gonna feel it. You gonna feel it
right here. You gonna feel it.
I remember being in elementary school and you came to my school, man.
Oh wow.
You know.
What middle school?
No. Elementary school.
Shout out to elementary school.
I went to John R. Harris Elementary School in Manchester, right here in Southeast Houston.
Oh,
and this was probably early 90s. I want to say like 91, 92.
Yeah.
Like 91, 92.
Yeah.
And you came out there, man. And I remember everybody was about the box. 97.9 the box. Matt had this, Matt had that.
Oh, I think man like about the box. Like,
No. Well, that too. We can get that later. But no, but like, yo, like just remembering those moments and how big you were then. And then to say that, yo, you know, you're a friend and you're a supporter of what we do, you know.
And with families and babies and stuff.
Because I want to tag on to your proud part, man. Yeah. Jeremy, I mean, I'm so proud of Jeremy,
I am, man.
You know,
really
because Jeremy came. There was a period when Jeremy came in and was working at the radio station.
Yeah,
and he was working at the radio station, and I didn't know.
Boom 92.
I just figured it's another kid, you know, trying to get a couple extra bucks, and then we were.
That's exactly what it was.
He was really
Go on.
No, for
sure. He's serious about the lifestyle.
And that's what I eventually learned. I thought, you know, okay, another kid.
I instantly got it.
No, I learned it. I learned it when we had the remote at the Chevrolet dealership, and I had my son with me that day.
Yep.
And
that's where it first popped off.
That's when it first popped off. And Jeremy was like, I break with B-boy. I was like, where? You know, he showed Carter a couple moves.
He was what? How old was he?
He was
like
four or five years old. He's 4 or 5 years old at the time.
How old is he now?
He's 8. He's 8.5.
Yeah.
So
Break Free is what now? Break Free is what?
Break Free is 7.5 years old.
2011.
Right
now. Really?
So, yeah.
So he showed. Jeremy showed him a couple moves
on the spot.
And he got the bug.
Yeah.
He got the bug, and immediately. And going back to what y'all talking about being a dancer and having a certain swagger, coming down here and doing the classes, you know, 3 times a week. It changed him.
Yeah,
it changed him. It gave him a confidence.
A little strut.
It gave
So
him
that's what I was saying.
A little lean in his walk.
Maybe not ego, but definitely confidence.
Definitely
it carries
confidence.
over to everything.
Definitely
Because right now
confidence.
he's into basketball. It carries over to everything
Yeah,
that he
man.
does. Because one of the things Jeremy used to always say, finish with style. Finish with style.
Yeah.
And so even when it's a shot, you gotta finish with style. You gotta finish with style. And,
that's fresh.
And watching Jay, you know, get married, have a son, then have a daughter, you know, and watching him grow, and then more, being a great dad and juggling.
I love watching everywhere you go.
Juggling the business that you're going through, the health issues that your parents had, and holding all that together, man. Y'all guys, man.
Hey, this is y'all episode, though, right?
You gave me chills, man.
No, that's for real, though.
Nah, thank
really
you.
For real, man. It's just amazing. Like I said, I watch you. I'm like, this guy was just in Houston yesterday.
Right.
Why is he in Japan today?
With an Olympic judge shirt on.
That's crazy, man. I just sometimes, I say to a guy, and we were talking about this earlier, that do you ever look at your life and like, this is crazy. I've danced my entire life. It's given me everything that I've ever
it's crazy
wanted.
that you asked that. I literally sat in my house last night and was thinking about that.
And what do you think? I want to hear these
No,
thoughts, really.
I was literally at home and I was just talking to my wife and it's just crazy to be in the position that we're in.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people kind of see it a certain way. I heard you guys heard of Tim Story before? Tim Story, he's a life coach. He's a minister, but I heard him say this one time. He said that you see the glory, but you don't know the story, right? So when I heard that, it stuck with me because I knew my goal has always been to take my passion and let it just take me to places I've never been. And it's been happening throughout my life, but I've also been focused on using my passion to create opportunities for other people.
Right.
And so just sitting in my house that I purchased off, let's just say dancing.
Right.
Right? Just sitting in my house.
It's not
with,
like.
Yeah. and with my
Unless
wife
there's something
and
else going
my
on.
kids.
Right.
Thinking about the 8 to 12 people that are working at Break Free, 8 are full time, 12 that are part, the other 4 that are part time.
Wow.
And under Break Free's business model, we've been able to create this, and it's not just me, but it's the people I surround myself with. And it's been one of the toughest things to think about, because you also think about the people that you had to cut off to kind of get to where you're at. And that's tough, man, because a lot of people don't understand that. And it's not that you're getting cut off for like, hey, you're not my boy anymore. It's just like, we're not on the same wavelength.
So
I'm
glad you said that. When do you decide
Well, I know one
that without being too personal?
No, it's not being too personal. When
But when do you have to decide that?
Oh,
When y'all had
Well,
to
I think I've had several key moments in my life that kind of shifted everything. Number one is when I found dancing. That was 95. When I found dancing, I thought I was going to become the shortest point guard in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? I was playing ball, and I was like heavily like into ball. Like where the following year, I had quit everything, and my coaches didn't talk to me for like 3 years. So they really gave up their friendship with me, and were like, we can't believe you quit, because they thought that I was going to take it to another level too. And
we just going in turn and help them.
Yeah, I guess, and so that was one turning point. And then years down the road, another key turning point is like when I had my son. I can skip all the 15, 20 years when I started breaking, because it was still just kind of brewing, and then when I had my son, it was like, now I have this life to look after, and I have to be a role model for him, And I grew up hearing all the cliches and all the corny things. Oh, look up to this person and look up to that person, And you start hearing all the same messages, but they're nowhere to be found. So instead of hearing the same message, I wanted to start seeing the message. So I wanted people to be living like what I wanted to become. So that's when I slowly started to make a shift, and like, let me cut this person off and model after like this guy, because he's doing it big, and he's using his art and his talent.
Sometimes that's your friend, sometimes it's family members.
That's extremely tough, man.
Your daddy, your favorite uncle.
And a lot of it had to do with family,
right?
And in some cases, I had to subconsciously even tune out my parents, who I love dearly, But God didn't give them a vision. God didn't give them my vision.
That's right.
So I had to follow my vision, And so that was, when having my son, that was a turning point. And a lot of other little moments that once we started Break Free in 2011. So when I had my son in 2011, I started Break Free 6 months later. So we started like building out whatever we could. My son was here like in a little, carriage, a little car seat, just. I have footage of us painting the walls, and he's in a car seat, just chilling, you know what I mean? And so like, I think about all this stuff, and it's just like, these are key moments in my life. And then just recently, 2016, when my dad passed away, my dad was my biggest inspiration. Even though I felt early on he wasn't the biggest supporter of me, he was just always a good-hearted person that wanted to help people. And he is the one that instilled that, the best thing you can do for somebody is give them a tool where they can help other people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Give them this tool of help, right? And so that was one thing that my dad instilled with me that I wanted to do for other people. So I was like, so regardless of whether I had money or I didn't have money, my number one goal was like, just help in whatever way you can, right? And it'll be blessed, it'll be honored, right? And then, so that when my dad passed, I was like, okay, now my dad's gone, now I gotta be him times 100. You know what I mean? So I stepped up in everything that we did. I changed a lot of things from a business level, from a personal level, from a family level, and just tried to be a better husband, a better father, a better, I hate to say it, but a better boss. You know what I mean? Like I had to step up in all these areas. And then my mom passed in 2017, the following year.
Right.
And that was a huge shift, because now both of my parents are gone. and these are the people that have raised me, and these are the people that you hear everybody say, you can never repay back your parents, right? And my goal has always been to create something sustainable for myself, where I can be in a place and give them everything they want. I've always wanted to be in a place where I can give them anything.
Those
you know,
people ain't here. Wow.
You know, and so for me, you know, so my family that's still here, my sisters, my brother, especially my sister, because she's a resemblance of my mom. You know, I told her, I said, I'm gonna make sure that I get to a level that everything that I couldn't get mom, that you're gonna get it. No. You know. So, you know, I've had a lot of key turning points. Even with my daughter, you know, when she got diagnosed with autism, that was another change. But it wasn't big, you know. That I don't feel like it was a big change.
When she was sick that time.
Man, I'm telling you, I got so many stories. Last year during Christmas time, so my mom passed away. It's about to be a year. So she passed away November 14th, 2017. That was coming off a world championship that we won with the Monster team, and Jeremy was part of that. The next day we arrived from LA after winning this world final championship. She passed away the next day. I remember coming to her house, and she was lying in the bed, and I told her, look, check out my championship ring. We all got gold championship rings, and I showed it to her. And the very next day she passes away. And then the following month, my daughter got really sick. I was in Kansas City shooting a music video with Tech Nine. You guys know what Tech Nine is, right? And so I was shooting a music video, and my wife calls me, you know, on set. And normally my wife never calls me when I'm out of town, because she knows I'm just working, you know. So she's a huge supporter of what I do. She never worries about, you know, and so, yeah, for sure. And so when she called me and I saw it, I'm like, I got to take this call. And she told me, she was like, hey, I'm taking Bella to Texas Children. Something's going on. I don't know what it is. So I'm like, all right, keep me posted. I fly out in the morning. I fly out in the morning. I was only there for that day. So I literally fly out the next morning. By the time I'm heading to the airport, she's telling me that she's in ICU. You know, you think ICU, that's it. Like, you know, it's like, man, this is where people die. You know what I mean? Or they're struggling to survive, right? So we still don't know what's going on. I literally fly in straight from hobby. I go to Texas Children. Don't even go home. Don't even go check on anybody else. I go there, and by the time I get there, they already had said that she had meningitis. And you know, if you don't know what meningitis is, it's a bacterial infection that it's so rare now that 200,000 people a year get it. So 200,000 people may seem like a lot, but there's billions of people on the planet.
Right.
So 200,000 in comparison to a billion, it's very rare.
And it dropped right in your house.
And it dropped right in my house to my daughter, who's already struggling on how to communicate anything to us. You know, so that was tough. You know, and so we spent 10 days. We spent Christmas in the hospital. We spent 10 days, 5 days in ICU. 10 days total at Texas Children. And I remember the third day just being in the hospital, and a little boy, you know, they move her in, like literally right next to Bella, like a curtain over, you know what I mean? And the little boy ends up passing away. So, you know, you start to put all these things together, and it's just like, man, you know, you never want to see your kids go through this. And so, you know, you're just praying and you know, believing that the best is going to come from this, you know? And so, you know, there's been so many obstacles in my life, man. But the one thing that again, my parents.
You never know somebody's story.
Yeah, you never know where someone's going.
Because Robin's not going to come and tell me all your business. So you blow my mind, because a lot of this stuff I've never known. I just know you break dance and you travel all over the world.
Yeah.
It must be the most beautiful life in the world. Now you telling me all this tragedy. I'm like, holy crap,
there
bro.
was a post he put up. He said, I just want my baby girl home for Christmas.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
I didn't need nothing else.
And I called him on, you know, yo, what's up? And he told me the whole story. And like I said, as a dad, you know, we all dads now. You know, that's your kid. You know, man. That's,
So at any point when you're going through all this, and this is a lot in the last 3 years, you just been a lot. Do you ever lose faith?
No.
Because you always speak in terms of faith. Whenever you talk, even when you talk about b-boying, it still comes across like, why it seems like God got something to do with his breakdance? You know what I'm saying? Some people just walk like that. And it's not that you're trying, you just be whoever you are. but it always comes across like there's a certain amount of God in your steps. But I'm just curious after hearing all this, do you ever have that moment when you talk to God and say, bro, if you're around,
not one time.
What are you doing? Yeah, what are you doing? Not
one time. And I've never questioned, God, and people can believe in whoever they want to believe in.
Right.
But I've not one time questioned my relationship with God and what has been coming my way. Right. Not one time. And I think the number one thing is because I evaluate what's happening. I try to evaluate what's happening, right? So in most cases where it's easy to be upset or angry or hurt, sad, through all these kind of obstacles, I always try to find, okay, I have this obstacle, but there's something good there.
What is the purpose? Me and Rob have these kind of conversations.
Yeah. I'm like, what's the reason?
So what is the reason? What is your purpose?
I think,
and if you don't try to figure it out,
I think I found this out last year.
Okay.
I think I found this out last year. I was in my hotel.
I'm sorry, I don't know if this is not.
It's all right. It's okay.
Nah,
it's okay. This is good. This is good.
You better spill all your tragedies out after this. You can put them on deck, all right?
I think I found this out last year, and I remember being in my hotel room, and I was in Minneapolis for a convention, and I remember being in my room, and I was just thinking about everything that I had been through, and the main purpose that I found is that God had been trying to tell me is just keep learning. And I think that the biggest thing in life is to be a continued learner. Learn how to learn.
Yeah.
And I don't think people know how to do that. So if you learn how to learn, then you'll always be a student to anything happening, whether it's good or bad. You will find a positive and everything. And I know it sounds corny, but it's what's helped me. It's what's helped me. So
right.
in every situation that I've been in, I've always been okay, how can I learn from this? What can I get that's going to make my life better? Because if I sit and dwell on it, then I'm going to be depressed.
So
I'm going to want to take my life. I'm going to do this.
Because this is pretty devastating stuff. Not trying to, what do you get out? Parents passing away. Your kid having a terrible ailment, disease.
Mm-hmm.
What is the growth for you here?
I think the growth for me is just to take everything that I've been through and making it noticeable for people, and I've made it public. I've posted a lot of stuff on Instagram and Facebook because I want to let you know that if I do post something, this is my real life story. This is what's happening. But look, I'm still standing, going to the gym at 4 or 5 in the morning.
That's your testimony.
Yeah. So
okay.
That's exactly what I want to do.
Got you.
And
your testimony, it is your life. This is not a fantasy. Yes, I'm doing all these wonderful things, but I live just like you. Bad things occur to me, but I can't let it destroy me and who I am. I still got to walk through this fire.
Yeah, and to be honest, I feel like way more bad things happen to me than anybody,
Right.
And I don't know. I don't know if it's because I'm built for it. I don't. That's what I don't know yet.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I don't know, because a lot of people say, well, you're built for it, and a lot of people even tell me to this day.
Are you hurt by that?
Yeah.
Because I do believe sometimes that God gives certain people leadership capabilities, and it is
I
on
1000% agree
to hold this weight.
Yeah.
That other people would not be able to hold.
Yeah.
And it might be asking you to do a lot.
I 1000% agree that, yes, I believe
then why
God.
Did he choose you? Why
God.
did he choose you?
Well, see, that's the thing.
Why
does
he choose who he chooses?
Well,
one thing I can say.
Yeah, but
no. It's all good. It's all good. It makes good conversation.
Y'all
good
can stop
discussion.
this at any point. What y'all getting right now is the kind of conversations me and Rob have that I would never have on the air.
This is great, though. No, this is great.
Because I just think that most people, it's too.
Even though,
much.
even though
they don't want to hear this. They want to laugh. They want to joke.
For sure.
What you're saying is things that have devastated others.
Well, and to answer, if I could chime in, I think the ultimate answer to that question is answered once his legacy is fully written, or to say grimly whenever he passes away, because after he passes away, everything will be put into perspective and his lineage, and
but
not
I
to
think
mention.
It's starting even now, man. I think it's starting even. It's starting even now. Cullen, you know, who is been here, you know, dancing here for several years. You know, there was that news story on him where he was getting bullied in school. I just saw Cullen. There was an event going on.
Now, who was Cullen first?
Cullen is he's a
break-free student.
He's a break-free student.
He's a break-free student. He's a break-free student.
Okay.
And Cullen's what, 14, 15 now?
No,
He might be
12.
I wanna say
12, 13.
12,
13.
12, 13.
He's young. He's young.
Yeah.
He's really young.
Okay.
But,
Came to us
but-
when he was about 7, 8.
Right, and Cullen, you know, now he's gone on. He was getting bullied. There was actually a news story that that they did, and he was talking about how his mom was wanting to find something for him to do to kind of get his confidence up, and so Cullen, and somehow ends up here at Break Free. Cullen's got he's on the spectrum. He's on
Asperger's.
Yeah, Asperger's. Right. He's on the spectrum, so he's not comfortable with everybody. And we
Okay,
saw,
what is that for those that may not know?
So Asperger's, it's a form of autism, right?
Right.
So that
I didn't want
spectrum,
to explain
yeah, that
something like
spectrum is pretty wide, but
He's
you
highly
know,
functioning.
yeah, he's a high functioning autistic kid.
Right.
So to most people, you would never know, but there's
Right.
a lot of little things that if you
Nuances.
knew about autism,
Yeah.
you would notice these things. You know?
Right. But to go to that point, like I said, Cullen is an example of your legacy shining through. When we saw him, he hadn't seen Carter, he hadn't seen my son in a while, so he was
Yeah.
geeked to see his boy, you know,
Yeah.
because Carter always looked up to him, you know, he always looked up to him. So he saw his partner, got to see him break a little bit, and we talked to him. And when I talked to his mom, I never knew about him having Asperger's until that day,
Right.
because he's always been cool and comfortable.
B-boy
with
Oh,
Cuz.
you
us.
didn't know that.
He's always
I
been
didn't know that about
B-boy.
him.
You've always known him as B-boy.
I've always
Cuz.
known him as
Right.
B-boy
Yeah.
Cullen.
So he always performed a particular way when he was around this environment.
Right, in this environment, he was cool. You know, like you said, he didn't come off as shy or afraid or anything like that in the environments I've met him in. And so his mom's like, yeah, you know, he's got Asperger's, he's on the spectrum, but you know, he likes Carter and he likes y'all. He knows y'all. You know, he's got a comfortable, because there were some people that were kind of coming up to him and he didn't want to fade them.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't want to fade them. But you know, I figured maybe it's just little kid stuff. But no, it was because of that. But this place, Break Free, has given your legacy, that, you know, whatever sparked in your mind to expand. You know what? I want to teach. I want to teach. I want to share these. You know what I've learned with somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, for y'all to do it and then stick with it, because I know the
Yeah,
the
for
challenges
sure.
you
Yeah.
had raising money and trying to maintain.
Can
and
I shout out to
sustain.
Jeremy on that? Jeremy is so good with kids.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Like, I love kids.
Yeah.
Not necessarily good with kids. Some people just have a knack to deal with the little people.
Patience.
Yep.
And I don't want to say that I'm not, because I got, you know.
Why
I
you
got
so
my
impatient, man?
I got my 2 girls, and you know what? They taught me a lot about patience and love. If it
Yeah.
wasn't for those 2 young ladies, I would be 0. But I've watched you around kids, and you're absolutely amazing. This is not to give you props. I don't want you to get this confused with props. But I've seen you around kids, and like you said, you are so patient. You know what? In life, sometimes some people get to do what they love to do, and they love to share it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have to figure out a way to do this thing that they love. I'm kind of happy, not kind of, I'm very happy that Jeremy has the opportunity to have this outlet here.
For sure. Yeah.
Because I don't know what kind of guy he would be if he could, you know, he would have some miserable job and love his wife and kids, but he would be so miserable.
Straight
No
up.
disrespect.
No.
Well,
straight
now,
up.
let me chime in and say this.
This is not to give him props. Let's not get this guy confused.
No,
wanna give him
no
props.
easy props here, bro.
Okay.
No easy props.
Wait a
So
second, man.
I remember reaching out to Jeremy in 2000. I've known Jeremy since he was
Before I danced.
kid, yeah,
Yeah.
little kid, you
Yeah.
know, where he would make fun of dancing.
Where
you
I
know?
was fourth place bowling champion.
Yeah, he was playing ball and he was a bowler.
I was good at basketball though.
Yeah, he was
Let's
pretty
be
good.
real.
Yeah, whatever. But anyways, no, like and I remember in 2006, 2007, he would come over to my house when he started getting into dancing, and I would just tell him, I said, dude, and it was hard for him. I mean, it was a struggle. It was an extreme struggle, and I would
that.
see
I
it.
don't believe
I would
that.
see it, and I remember telling you in my garage, I said, dude, you're gonna be better than all these guys that would come practice with us, because they were kind of, you know, competitive with each other. I said, you're gonna be better than all of them. Don't worry about it, and because I saw the work ethic. You can't. I don't care
I
what
thought
you
he
say.
Was naturally gifted, like he just,
Nah.
you know,
Nah,
come on,
man,
there's
it
some
was
guys
tough.
in my neighborhood when they
I'm
just,
half white,
they
bro.
saw, listen, they saw.
Yeah, so you got privileges.
and breakdance, and they could automatically do. If they saw it done, they could automatically do it. So
Yeah, and I know some people like that, too.
Jeremy, I thought Jeremy was one of those guys.
Nah,
You know, he just saw the
I
other
know
guys
people
and
like
did
that too, but he was not one of those guys.
I will say, I will
You're not one of those
say,
guys.
I will say, what I did have to my advantage was before I
Being
even,
white.
yes, of course.
Which,
Best
by the
of
way,
both
I
worlds,
did not
baby.
know that. Look, I didn't know you were white until they just said it just now.
Oh, come on, man.
I did
No.
not know that. I promised.
What did you think I was?
I thought you was Hispanic.
Well, because of your last name.
Yeah,
No,
thank
it wasn't.
you.
I just the way you look. It looks like you.
Well,
Yeah, that's a whole different.
I'll take that as a compliment. No.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Nah, well, what I did have to my advantage, I would say, is before I even started dancing, is I was a fan of hip hop. And when I say a fan, like
I believe that.
when I was 11, 12, 13, this was when Napster and LimeWire, you know, me as a kid, like I was just hooked on that, and I was downloading, you know, Only Built for Cuban Links.
Illegally?
Planets. Illegally. They can't get me now, baby. 7 years statute of limitations. But yeah, I was heavy, like, you know, I was a music nerd, and I think me going into dance from there, like, I was rhythmically inclined, but I wasn't in the physical aspect.
So what was it about breakdancing or b-boying that like got your attention? Like, oh, I got to do this.
Well, it was my brother Palmer. He's also, in addition to Moy, was one of my biggest teachers, and I would always see him dance. But like he said, I
Oh, we're
was.
supposed to be asking them questions. I don't
Nah,
know.
it's
It's
good.
all good. It's all good. We got some stuff for y'all. It's all good. I'm sure whoever's tuning in, they're enjoying it, so it's all good.
I'm not here to take over. These
Nah.
are just
Nah,
questions
man.
that I have
It's
with
all-
you guys because
going, baby. Well,
I've never had an opportunity to ask them these questions.
Yeah.
Like Jeremy was working back in the days when we did Boom, and so I never got in your personal business when you
Yeah,
said
yeah.
you're watching. Rob gets into everybody. This is the guy. This is the friend of the stars.
Yeah.
Book coming soon.
hey,
Friend of the stars.
as long as you invite us on the morning show, and
Y'all
you're not
should be
using
on
this
there.
as
For real, man. What's up?
Y'all should be on
Put
there.
it-
for
come
real.
on, man.
Y'all
Let's
should
go.
be on there. And then you know what too? I wanted to thank y'all too because you know when we started Boom, that should have never went away. But that's another story, another time.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk.
Nah, we're talking about it right now.
Topic.
When we did that and it made sense. And I got to give my boss Terry.
Shout out
Thomas,
TT.
Shout out
We love
TT.
She actually
Our
had the
girl.
vision to say these guys out here breakdancing and b-boying. We
Yeah.
got to make if you're gonna have a classic
Station.
hip hop station.
Yeah.
They got to be a part.
How do you not
Yeah.
have some classic b-boys
For
to
sure.
go along with your classic
Yeah.
hip hop station? And whenever you do something, you got your automatic b-boy team to go with your
Yeah.
classic hip hop station. I'm like, brilliant.
Yeah.
Nah, it was a super
It was a
dope.
great idea.
Yeah,
Great
super dope
idea.
Going back
partnership.
to like Cullen, and we had a Boom Squad where
Yep.
it was comprised
yeah,
of Break
yeah,
Free
yeah,
students,
yeah.
and Cullen, along with all the other Boom Squad members, got to perform at Boom Bash.
Yeah.
You know, alongside Big Daddy Kane
Yeah.
and Cool J, which was an amazing
That was
moment.
cool.
Thinking
Boom
about
was
that,
so,
man.
So
Yeah.
cool.
A lot of good moments with Boom.
Yeah,
But it
man.
went boom.
But you know, one of the things, like I said,
But boom.
I'm thankful for, like I said, if it weren't for Boom, I probably wouldn't have this relationship.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have this relationship.
This episode wouldn't be happening.
Yeah.
Right, and then, you know, like I said, you know.
Y'all have been
because
some guys
Jeremy-
that I saw on Instagram before. Hey man, you ever saw these guys
breakdancing.
right here?
Yeah, maybe.
I
Yeah.
got
Yeah, you know, but, you know,
They still
Jeremy-
breakdancing?
Yeah, they still do that. But Jeremy was, you know, I was fortunate enough to be in there with him every morning. Jeremy used to always kick out the dope graphics, you know.
Yeah.
It was good.
You know,
Very, very
you know.
I hated to see
his
you
hip
go.
hop. His hip hop knowledge is impeccable. I came in front, and it was surprising to me. I'm like,
This is young
look at
kid.
this kid. Look at this kid. He knows all this about Russell Simmons and not any, you know. It's
True
like-
student of the game.
Yeah, student of the game, man. Student of the game.
But I just want to give y'all props on that.
Nah,
I
man,
just thought
thank
it was
you.
real cool that we were able to do that, and I thought we were doing some amazing things. And I'll just leave that right there.
Yeah, so man, let's go back to you guys, man. I know
Yeah.
we could talk about the rest on the Mad Hatter Morning Show.
Yeah.
Terry Thomas,
week.
you know.
Next week,
listen-
too. Put us on.
But-
We got to have y'all on there for real, though.
Yeah.
We got to talk
make it
about
happen, yeah.
When y'all doing an event or something, let's talk about it so we can tell people.
We got some juicy stories too. We can start some controversy.
Yeah, but no, man, we wanted to bring you guys on the show again because I was saying, you know, you guys are huge staples in not only the Houston scene but hip hop. You know, you guys are very knowledgeable in the culture, whether it's from, you know, art, dance, music, DJ, whatever. You know, you guys just know it all. And I know the
I don't know it
conversations
all,
that I had
but
with
I
Rob
think you
G.
can say
You know that.
Well, when I say you know it all, it's what Matt Hatta knows it all. It's what Rob G knows, what knows. And so I think that, to me, when people are comfortable in something that they love, you know it all. And I'll sit there and listen to it all, even if you're making things up. Because when people speak from passion and you can see that they truly care, again, even if it was a lie, like I just get in tune with that, because even if they're dreaming it, like, it's just that love exists, that passion exists. And every time I spoke to both of you guys, I know Matt Hatta, we've had like short conversations, but when we did have them, it was always love. It was always respect.
Our conversations are always very precise.
Yeah, very short.
There's nothing fluffy about it. They're like straight ahead. Yeah, they made. Rob
G, on the other hand, will hit me up when I'm on a treadmill at 4 a.m.
He sure will.
But no.
To the stars.
But no, man, we wanted to bring you on and just kind of pick y'all's brain and give. I want you guys to give your take on today's view and culture of hip hop in comparison to the way it was, let's just say, in the 80s and 90s, and let's just see, like,
that's to say we old.
Yeah, what's your take on it, and where do you see it going? Because right now there's a lot of like especially in the b-boy scene, because I started breaking in the 90s, and so a lot of people are like, man, I wish it was like in the 90s and all this stuff. But I'm like, but today there's way more opportunity. You know what I mean? Because if it was in the 90s, my breaking contests or battles would be with a girl that's booty rolling, a dude on rollerblades, somebody juggling, and then whoever had the best, moves or whatever.
Now it's in the Olympics.
So now, you're talking about breaking being in the Olympics. You're talking about, endorsement deals, sponsorship.
Is that the deal now? Is it officially in the Olympics?
So it's in the Youth Olympics, and now there's kind of ongoing discussion about it possibly being the main Olympics in Paris 2024.
It's a skill, brother.
Yeah.
It's a skill, and this is not to knock my brothers from the 90s that are b-boys. I'm an 80s kid, so I saw the first round of some hardcore b-boying, the Rocksteady crews and stuff like that. So, we've seen a full transformation. For it to have gone globally, though, it's still what blows my mind that, you can go to other countries and now, These b-boys are serious.
Yeah. So what is your take, though? What is the biggest changes that you've seen?
For
all of the above. All right, from what you guys know.
I'll speak.
Go music.
Go music.
I want to hear let's go music first.
Yeah. Let's go music. All right. Technology. I'll even incorporates into that, because back when we were coming up in the golden era, like people like to say, of hip hop. Everybody couldn't get a deal. You had to have money to go to the studio to possibly get heard by somebody, come and run around with a demo tape, to get signed, and hopefully they thought enough of you to print up some wax, to send it to London and get it mixed and mastered, and send it back overseas, and then print it up and then send it out. So you may make a song in January and it doesn't get heard till November, Thanksgiving, and so you had to really plan ahead. I'm sure when Houdini did Haunted House of Rock, they thought about it a year in advance, and then had to go through that entire process.
Yeah.
Now, if I got a thought in my head for a song,
and a laptop,
or phone, right here, or phone, I can make that song.
I met a kid who does producing, and he does all his beats on the phone.
Right. He probably makes good money off of it too.
This kid was what, 13 or 14?
We were at a talent show. We were doing a talent show with Eddie F.
Like, what'd you do with that beat?
My son makes beats on his phone.
And so this kid right here,
he's 7.
He was one of the producers, and so he made these dope beats, and we're like, yo, what did he make? He's like, I was in the back seat going to school. My mom was driving me. Like, what? What? So you can, with the technology though, they can make you create whatever you want, and in a matter of moments,
upload,
depending on how good your Wi-Fi is, it is out to the world. It is out to the world, and I think that's the biggest thing. And so now everybody has that capability. Now, as long as you've got the phone or a computer and some Wi-Fi, then which pretty much everybody has or got access to.
Still need talent though.
Yeah,
for sure.
But I'm saying even in
Everybody
the
has
absence,
access.
So,
in the absence of
that's what my
talent,
follow-up question was. Is you can't ignore the wave of technology. Like technology is something you can't ignore.
You can't ignore
It's
it.
gonna keep getting more accessible for more
Right.
people and easier in some ways.
And even in the absence of this talent, people, like I said, there's nothing stopping them. There's no gateway. Where before the gateway was getting to the record label and getting in the door. There's no gateway now.
What I would be curious on is y'all's perspective on like the authenticity of it. Do y'all think that has changed, or even like the essence of hip hop? Because the technology can grow and it can become more accessible, but like you can tell like musically the priorities are different, and it's not to say to break.
And that's what I was referring
like,
to when people say like the vibe in the '90s was just so much better. The music in the '80s was just
I think
Here,
me
can I tell
personally,
y'all
if I
the
could
truth?
just add, if I could just preface it, I think hip hop has always been a reflection of the times, as like music is always too. So I think simply times have changed. And
Well, it's
I think-
evolution.
Yeah.
Well,
Things evolve.
I know we had a conversation with Kool Mo D when Soulja Boy first came out in 2006. When we first heard Soulja Boy,
Boy's a pioneer nowadays. I don't know if y'all know, but
right. When I first
Hold on.
Actually-
Real quick, because this is why you're on the show, because you had a conversation with Kool Mo D, and you're about to tell us a real story, dog. So for everybody
Rob
listening,
G, another star.
we had a conversation, but it was on the Mad Hatter Morning Show.
don't
Keep
trip.
telling the story though.
Act right.
let's go.
That's right.
It's on the Mad Hatter Morning Show.
So story with
we
Kool
got-
Mo D.
we- So we got Kool Mo D there, and I wanted to ask him. We got Soulja Boy out here, and here I am looking at this Kool Mo D, this hip hop icon, and I'm wanting
Soulja
him.
Boy.
He wanted him
internally,
to
I wanted him
annihilate
to
him.
annihilate
And he did.
Soulja Boy.
Boy.
I wanted him to lay weights to him, tell them all why it was garbage and why it was the worst thing ever, and have this champion of the golden age. And Kool Mo D let me the hell down. Kool Mo D, but it was the most genius thing that's changed my whole perspective on everything. Kool Mo D said, he's a 17-year-old kid talking about 17-year-old experiences. You're a grown man now with a wife and kids.
Can't relate.
He's not talking to you. Not only is he not talking to you, this is the part. Every generation picks their heroes. There was a generation that liked Roy Rogers. There was another generation that liked Big Bird. There's another generation that liked Power Rangers. There's a generation now that likes Little Einstein. Every generation picks their heroes. So for that generation that liked the Temptations, and there's another generation that liked the Jackson 5, and another one like New Edition, and another one like B2K, you can't be mad at who they choose to champion.
Yep.
And it shut me down. I
Yep.
said, well, you
No,
know
that's
what?
real.
you know what? Let these guys make it.
I've always been of that mind. I'm not getting ready to sit here and annihilate
I would.
these young. Here's why. I think whenever you get the opportunity, because of whatever your talent is, or even your non-talent, but everybody else believes it to be a talent.
Yeah.
If you can make money from it, you're able to take care of your family, employ your friends, empower people and yourself. I'm all for the empowerment of. I don't care what the music is saying or what it's doing. I am about the empowerment of the dollar though. So I don't look at it and go, that's some crappy music.
Yeah.
Just because I don't like it,
Yeah.
don't mean that those 17 and 18-year-olds don't.
They trying to
So
crank
I
that.
don't.
There's 4 million other views. It's telling you.
Rakim is gonna always be the best MC of all time.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Then I got my Jay-Z's and my Scarfaces and whatnot. That's gonna always be. I
Yeah.
don't care what new dude comes around.
Yeah.
I don't care what what all the young people say. It's gonna always
Drake
be
can
my
have
favorite.
5,000 number ones.
Like Drake, by the way. I think he's very talented.
Yeah.
But my point is, I don't have to like all these guys.
Yeah.
And I appreciate all their music. I think for me to do what I have to do, I have to find either a small amount of appreciation or humor to the music.
Yeah.
And if I can do one or both, I'm okay with it. I'm all about the empowerment, though. I don't want to get into, I never like to get into, oh, these guys suck and this, that. Hey, man, I should not be jamming this 17-year-old kid.
Yeah.
If he got a song with a nice beat, though, and a nice little hook, and I happen to be in the club and they played that night, and I'm
Yeah.
feeling like getting lit,
Yeah.
I'll go for it.
Nah,
You know,
I
if
agree
not, though,
100%.
I don't want to, but we can all sit here. Somebody might say the '90s was the best. Well, I'm a kid of the '80s. I have not heard anybody that matched anything that I heard from the '80s yet.
Straight
'Cause
up.
that's
And
what
no
we
one
did.
is ever
I'm
gonna
gonna
match
go
that.
Grandmaster Flash,
you know?
Fierce 5, Kumo
Run
D,
DMC.
all
No one is
these-
ever
I
gonna match
always
that.
related to this
Treacherous
too.
Three, I
Like
can do that all
as a
day.
b-boy, when I was taught first to prioritize as an artist in the culture of hip hop is to do what you want and do what you feel.
That's what it is.
So that's exactly. So for me, that's the first thing in hip hop.
Yeah.
So then after that, so you look at modern day artists and you can say what they want, or even comparing it to them. They're doing what they feel, and they're doing what they want. And they're telling their story and how it is. And you can't say that's not hip hop. You can have an opinion, you can critique it, but I take a problem when like these elitists are like, that's not hip hop.
Right.
Like, who are you? How can you say that?
And we're gonna have our hip hop elitists, and I'm gonna let them be them. And some of our hip hop elitists as MCs, I love them as MCs.
Yeah.
And I can never question them because of their stature in the world of hip hop. But
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I would never sit on a panel with them and sit and point fingers and criticize. I'm just not in position to do that. I feel like if that's what this kid, again, Kumo D said it best. You know, I shouldn't be over here. If an 18-year-old kid is talking about his life experience up to 18 years, that's all he has. Here's what you gotta hope: as he grows as a man, so shall his music.
Yeah.
Yep.
We hope if he
Yeah.
makes it that far. Now let's be honest, it's the music business. The music business is
50.
always the same. He may not see past 3 to 4 years. The cycle is still the same.
Yeah.
Everybody ain't
He
gonna
just
be
released a new
Jay-Z.
single, Soldier Boy. I
Every-
heard it not.
but again, he had his. There was
He
a
had a
time where
run.
Soulja Boy had a strong run. No
Hey.
disrespect.
He was
Soulja
the
Boy-
king
Soulja-
for a while.
Soulja Boy
yeah.
also had some other bigger deals that didn't really, involve his music so much. So,
Exactly.
So,
a lot of them, and that's the other part I love about it. And see, they've grown up in a time where you can endorse products and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Bro, when we first came out, if you did that, it was career
You was set up.
suicide.
Oh,
the
for
only
sure.
people.
Right with Shan.
Now,
Yeah.
when we
with
saw
Shannon.
Run DMC do the Adidas thing,
Yeah.
we didn't even see that as an endorsement. That was like those were just the cool shoes we were wearing at
Yeah.
the time.
Right.
They got that one past us, but
Did
you
they
know
get paid for that?
What?
Oh yeah.
No, I'm just curious.
They
You know
used-
the story behind that?
Like, no, what's the
Give it to
story?
him.
The
Yeah.
story-
1 minute long. Go.
The story behind that one right there, they were they reached out. Leor
Corn, yeah.
reached out to
Def
Adidas,
Jam.
Def Jam president. He reached out to Adidas and it told them they need to stroke a check for this song, My Adidas.
So they
And
just cut the record before any talk with the
yeah, they
company.
already cut it.
or-
They were
yeah.
just talking about what they
And all
did
the
for
kids,
this,
because
though.
listen,
That's all they would rock.
everybody was
That's
wearing
all they would
rocking
rock.
Adidas.
That's all they were rocking.
But
And so
a lot
they-
of it had to do with Run DMC.
Right.
Oh.
So the
Right.
cat,
Hands down,
you
for
know, so
sure.
they brought him over from Germany for this concert in Madison Square Garden. Because the guy was like, man, I don't even cut no check to these guys. And then Run gets up there and says,
Take
"Yo,
off your shoe."
Everyone take off your shoe.
And put it in the air.
What am I
Oh,
walking?
Adidas.
And the whole
I remember
crowd,
that.
Adidas.
That's
So
crazy.
imagine how many
If he had a
people
cash
in
app, he probably would have sent him something right there.
Straight up.
that- Think about it. Maybe
So
a-
Leor hit up
Yeah.
Adidas and
Yeah,
and they
hey
said,
man,
cut
we
a
need
check.
some money, bruh.
Yeah.
We the ones that got these kids. You think that you're all the reason why these
Why
kids
these sales
all
are
of a
spiking?
sudden, everybody's
The
wearing
sales
your
are spiking
shoes.
in because of
No,
y'all.
these little inner city kids are doing whatever they can to get these shoes by hook or crook, or if they can get their parents in the suburbs to buy them.
Yeah.
So you need to cut this check, bruh. And they cut the check, and they started the whole thing of
The first
indoor-
really major
until
endorsement.
Hammer came along, and he did it on such a level that everybody was,
Envious.
But now
Hammer. baby.
everybody.
That's such a dope and raw way to approach a potential
Endorsement.
endorsement,
Show and prove.
sponsorship
Yeah.
or endorsement.
Well, that's
Oh yeah,
kinda-
but that's the best
So,
way. That's
but-
the
but
best way.
listen.
You show and prove.
That's exactly what
Monster.
I did with Monster Energy. Shout out to Monster Energy. But like whenever
He
I
held
reached
up a
out,
can at a b-boy jam and he goes,
no,
"Everybody."
no, but check this
On the
out.
counter.
Just to kind of piggyback
Hey,
off,
you're a monster.
just to piggyback off that, I remember in 2012, I reached out to Monster and I said, hey, because, Red Bull was doing some stuff at the time with the B-boy scene, and I was just like, yo, Monster, I feel like Monster's such a edgier brand.
Yeah.
It just showcases more. So I was let me reach out to Monster, right? So me being me, I wrote a proposal, sent something to them, and long story short, they were like, nah, we don't sponsor B-boys, we don't do this, we don't do that. Like 6 to 8 months later, they hit me back and was like, yo, like we've seen you post, like are you this kid that's posting everywhere, you're traveling, Monster and all this. I had grabbed some local Monster gear from the sales team here in Houston, and I was just like, let me rock this gear.
So even after they told you no, you kept on going?
Come on with it, because
Oh,
I had a
wow.
plan.
See,
I had a plan.
see, most people see
The vision.
I
Now,
had a plan.
now stop right there. I don't mean to stop this whole thing. You just made a great point. See, most people give up on their dreams because they've been told no.
Yep.
They allow somebody else to control their destiny.
Yep.
But when somebody told you no, you said, "Oh, that no just means I got to go harder."
There you
Yep.
go.
Oh,
I control
why didn't you
my
just
destiny.
say that?
That roadblock just made you have to go.
So
around,
you
not
went
stop.
harder. So at some point they had to say, "We tripping."
Yeah.
Man, just bring them in.
Undeniable.
If anything, let's roll with them, not against them. Because we mess around, he might jump with them other folks who see what's popping.
This is
up.
the thing, is that you also have to look at it from a business perspective, you know, especially when you're jumping into endorsement deals or sponsorships. And a lot of the B-boys, and I'll speak on B-boys because that's what we do and that's where we come from, right? So a lot of the B-boys are like, everything just, let's keep it raw, let's keep it authentic and all this stuff. And I said, nah, man, I'm trying to get paid. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
Let's keep it proper.
you said it earlier. If you're good at something, get paid for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Keep it real
like,
goes wrong.
but at the same time, it's like I knew that I could be a guy that could eventually extend and create opportunities if everything went the way I thought it went in my head, right? The way what I saw in my head, if I can make this happen, I know it's going to be good for a lot of people and not just me. So I literally just rocked it and repped it like I was sponsored. They saw
wow.
it. They saw it and was like, man, who's this kid
Well,
that's
you know,
traveling
here's
all
the
over?
truth.
You
You
know?
can't deny this. This is a guy that goes around the world b-boying, breakdancing. Why not? This is sometimes it just things make sense.
So this is what I was gonna say. From a business perspective, I was looking at it, man. Like, you know, the breaking scene, this underground hip hop scene is such an untapped market. At the end of the day, corporate companies are always trying to reach more consumers. You know what I mean? And why not?
And if
Why not?
And if you've already got a foothold onto a market that they don't have in, well, let's just pay you to do it because we don't
Exactly,
even want
and why not? You know, urban culture is the fastest growing culture, and I would say probably it has the #1 influence on young people today.
Right.
Art, music, dance. You know,
One way or the other.
yeah, it just does, right? It is the #1 connection to youth, right, and young people and young adults and those parents that were, you know, coming from the 80s. Yeah,
Because as soon as I see somebody breakdancing, what I'm gonna do?
come on. So I put
It's
it
it's
all
my
together.
culture. I'm like, oh,
So
I gotta
that
stop.
demographic of
For
like
real, you got
17 years old, 18 years old to like 35, even 40, extended a little bit.
Yeah, you can extend that.
You know, okay, man, 45.
You can extend that.
All right.
I'm just saying, but
you know what I'm
think
saying?
about it, the beginning.
right, yeah.
If you think about the beginnings of b-boy, you know, think about your
Hip hop
oldest
is
b-boy.
what, 40 years old?
Think about your oldest b-boy though. Those dudes are still doing it. Think of some of your favorites.
Yeah.
These dudes
Oh, yeah.
are still doing it. They haven't.
Yeah.
How do you give this? That's my other.
I've been
question
seeing
too.
Crazy Legs every week. I travel with Crazy Legs all the time. I see him
When does
every
he
weekend.
stop? When is this guy gonna stop?
He ain't gonna stop.
He's not gonna stop.
He's not gonna stop.
Then the next question is, how long do you do it? And people love to ask these kind of questions. How long do you?
People
do it?
may slow down, but they're still ambassadors for the scene. You know,
Absolutely.
they're huge ambassadors and leaders, and so.
Can he still do everything?
Oh yeah, he can still get down. I wouldn't say he could do everything, but because
Okay, he
I
still
think
makes-
just
the
naturally our
average guy,
bodies
he's gonna
change.
kill him.
You know.
Yeah.
But
Average
yeah,
guy's
he
still killing.
he got that b-boy mentality. He always wants to throw down. He always wants to feel like he wants to battle somebody.
That's
You know,
true.
he's always gonna put his foot down. Especially Legs. You know, Legs is one of my homies. You know, he always puts his foot down for the better of everything that we do. You know.
Appreciate
Say
it.
he's,
Thank
say
you,
he's
B.
still gonna want to battle you.
I mean, I don't know about that. Legs, if you tuning in, I don't know about that, bro.
There was a
that
competition
crazy,
2 weeks
dog.
ago and he voted against me, so I might want to battle him. So what's up, Lee? Next time I see you. Me and
Jeremy,
Paul.
this is not the place for you.
It's exactly the same.
But yeah, man, that whole Adidas
That's why we started
story,
this.
it relates to the same
Well, that's the
same
beautiful
way
thing, man.
that
think
I did.
I hope people actually get something out of your story. I do believe a lot of people do give up on their dreams. The no's have happened, and then they let it go. They let go of their dream.
Yeah.
Well, going off of that, I would be curious as y'all's beginnings in hip hop culture. Like, how can y'all relate y'all's first moment getting into this culture, being inspired to be a DJ or just be involved with hip hop? Like, what's y'all's first memories of hip hop growing up?
Ooh. I used to get these underground tapes, and I won't say the year or anything, but I lived in Europe for a little while because my father's in the military, and I used to get these underground hip hop tapes.
So how old was you? around this time?
Just know I was very young. This is elementary level
Okay.
me, like, yeah. So I would get these tapes, and And
what format of tapes? I'm like digging in.
cassette.
we gonna get this.
No. This is cassette tape.
Beta.
This is cassette. And I would get these tapes and be like drawn into this thing called hip hop. When you first start hearing this thing, man, you're not really sure what it is, but for some reason it resonates with you.
For sure.
As a kid,
sure.
I still even remember my first rap.
We all do.
Nah. What's that? Okay.
We all do. What?
Go.
What is it?
Mine was
Sugar Hill?
It wasn't my first rap. I wrote to Run DMC. It's like
Oh, you wrote
Yeah,
rap
me-
that you wrote.
me
Oh, okay.
Me and my best friend Milton, we used to write rhymes.
I think I've heard you
back
kick
and
this
forth.
before, but you gotta
Right.
kick it again.
And so we was on the basketball team, and there was this guy named DRS. DRS thought he was dope. He thought he was the man. Right?
So it was a diss.
It was
Your
a
first
diss
rap.
Oh,
That's right.
Okay.
Right.
Wait,
Rob
what
G.
year? What year?
Oh man, this is 84 something like that.
Beat Street era. All right.
First rap was a diss.
Yeah, it was a diss. It was a diss because something happened in the gym. I had crossed him. Made a little shot.
Classic Rob G, always trying to annihilate somebody.
Always.
But anyway, it was, to run this, it was like DRS came home from overseas. He said, Robert, man, I can slam with ease. I grab the ball and jam when I please. Yo, DRS, go back and play with the Chinese.
With a little racist slant.
It was 84, guys. It was 1984. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's make that clear.
Chill out.
Nothing like
Reagan was in office.
Nothing like a little racism attached to it.
I wasn't racist. He was telling him where to go. I ain't say anything about it.
Okay, don't feel
Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't remember all the words to I do remember it was to a song by a group called Clear, "Coming Back to You." I think was the name of the song. Coming back to you, and they had a break beat in the middle of it. And this is the thing.
Intimate Connection?
That's the
That's
same
the break.
band that did Cybertron, right?
No, Clear.
No, Clear.
No,
Not that Clear.
Not that
This
Clear.
is,
Intimate Connection. The one
Yeah.
that
This is KLEER.
Oh, okay.
CLE.
Yeah, they
Not
put
Cybertron. Clear.
Not Cybertron. That's Cybertron.
See,
Yeah.
that's the B-boy. I danced to it a couple of times. Nah, there was just like a little break beat in there.
You gonna turn into a Cybertron right now?
No. I don't want to show y'all nothing.
Oh!
I don't want to spoil y'all. with
Oh
nothing
man, be
like
careful. I want you to break that elbow, dog. We need you for the Man Had a Morning Show tomorrow, 5 a.m.
Sure, right, man. Sure. But it's kind of cool. We were there when this thing first got started, and the funny thing is when you do see it now, after you have this bird's eye view, so to speak, of hip hop and where it's come and the way a guy can be a b-boy and have a career.
Yeah.
Rob G, this guy, he's a DJ. I've seen his house. You just wiggy, and he getting checks. And for real, if it wasn't for rap music, I wouldn't think about what rap, the hip hop culture has given a lot of us.
Right.
Yeah.
I actually had a career doing this. Don't tell nobody, I ain't no good at it. It paid me all these years. I've had a chance to sit around and listen to some of my favorite artists. I had a chance to watch Rob G. This is it's his moment, but my greatest moment. My favorite rapper and my partner got to DJ for our favorite rapper in the whole wide world.
Rakim.
This is like a dream.
That's crazy.
Rob is back
That's
being
crazy.
his DJ like he's Eric B. doing the raps. I'm like, Rob.
June 13, 2016 is one of the greatest days.
Man.
It's one of the greatest days of my life because
These
I
hands.
haven't watched
I haven't washed them ever
But
since.
see, that's the thing. I knew going into that day, it was a boom bash. I knew going into that day, I was going to get to interview Run DMC. So that, in and of itself, was going to be dope. I met them individually, but I never talked to them collectively.
I remember
So-
that. I remember that coming back from that boom bash and you was editing the interviews
Right.
at like 5 a.m.
Right.
Like it was like you was in the club, like bright eyes, like popping.
I
remember.
had to do it. So as I'm going into, I'm thinking about this interview all week long that I'm going to get to talk to Run DMC. So I'm formulating the questions and thinking what I'm going to ask and this and that and the other. As I'm walking into the interview, one of our guys in promotion, he stopped me. He's like, "Yo, you got your laptop with you?" I'm like, "Huh? Yeah, I got it. Why? What's up?" Rakim needs a DJ. Rakim needs a DJ. The other cat's not here. He needs you to DJ. What?
Put me in
Oh my God, real quick.
Put me in
So
contact.
I'm like, what? What? Wait a
They're
minute.
like, hey, Rob's getting ready to go on stage with Rakim.
You started floating.
Why? I was confused.
Right.
Why?
Right. So it was, man. So like I said, I'm doing the interview with Run DMC. I'm already tripping on that. After I interview them, they go on stage. I get to watch the show with my best friend and my wife and this and that and other. Now I get to go back here and DJ for Rakim. And as I'm DJing for Rakim, I lose it. I'm having a fan moment. I'm like everybody else. I pulled my phone out and I'm recording. Like I'm not at work.
Yeah.
And my wife was like, yo, I'll record it. Dude, you're supposed to be working right now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Rob did a good job though, man. But that was a cool moment. And you know, Rakim being your favorite MC, you never. A lot of your favorite MCs, even like a Scarface for me, you never want to talk to them because they can ruin it.
Yeah, that's what they say.
They can
What's the
ruin-
saying? Never
and
meet your heroes.
Yeah,
right?
and Rakim at first I refused. They were like because everybody at work at this particular time, and this was another concert before this one right here.
With
They
EPMD.
were like in EPMD, peace, so cool. They're like, hey, we know you love Rakim, man. He backstage, he want to meet you. I'm like, nope.
Keep it the way
What
it
you
is.
mean no?
Yeah.
I saw the show. I'm getting ready to go home.
Yeah.
No, we need you to actually interview Rakim. And I told my boss, no. What do you mean no? I'm not talking to Rakim. Why not? Because he won't ruin it for me. I got him in a certain place where he needs to stay.
Yeah.
And one wrong step can change everything about my history as it relates to
Everything.
hip hop
Everything.
and Rakim. And I don't need.
That's
take a
tough
chance.
though, man. That's discipline.
Yeah, listen, I take that chance with any other rapper. They can blow it for me, and I'm cool. Not Rakim, knowing the special place he has right over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He named his
And
company after
Paid in full. That's the name of my record company.
Yeah.
Shout out to Paul Walker, millionaire.
Ooh.
But anyway,
Say it's time for real.
but,
We was jamming that earlier.
the guy, I finally walk in after they almost begged me, and I'm like, man, I'm built up for this guy to let me down. And I meet him, and you know what? Our heroes, we have them at 30 feet tall. Rakim is much smaller than that. I don't realize this because I remember him back in the days when I saw the Rakim that I saw.
Yeah.
When he stood on stage, we thought all these
He was
guys were
tall.
killers.
Yeah,
We
for
thought
sure.
they were killers.
Yeah.
Rakim didn't move.
Nope.
He didn't wave his
Said
hands in
stand
the
by his
air.
and that's
Fit
what
his
he
rhyme.
did.
Rakim, I'm used to Rakim did this. I was like, damn, he hard, dog.
Yeah. Cold
With no
blood.
dancers,
For sure.
with no hype. It was a DJ.
Spitting his rhymes.
It was It was Eric B. and him on the stage. And he might walk 3-4 steps, then he grabbed the mic.
Stand by the speaker. Suddenly I had it. Yeah.
Like, God, damn.
Just
Your
talking to the
rapper
mic.
shouldn't be so hard. So you scared, amazed, and all kind of stuff. So you go backstage and you meet him like, oh my God, he's okay. He's still Rakim. He's still Rakim.
Yeah.
God MC.
yeah.
So he can still mess this up for me. And he dabbed me like we knew each other forever. So I just straight start running. Man, I just go for the first question. Man, what happened between you and Dr. Dre with this album? He like, man, Dre was trying to get me to do some gangster shit, man. Rakim don't do gangster shit. I said, yeah, Rakim don't do that. Why would he have you doing some stuff like that? He said the same thing Rakim said.
So now y'all are both talking.
that's
I
good.
said, he just made it. I said, no more questions. I think I asked him 1 or 2 other things, gave him some strong dap, and we're not
Blessed.
going to top this moment.
That's it,
So let's
blessed.
just pull away. Even when they did the show with Rob, I don't want to talk to him. I don't want to. I need him to stay in that corner.
You had it. You already had the moment.
Yeah, I had that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be his buddy. I don't like Rob likes to get to know the stars. Rakim, I don't want to get to know him better. I need him to stay right where I have him, and the guy that helped me get through my life as a child.
Yep.
And I want to keep you there with my Fantastic Five and my LL. I didn't want to meet LL. Didn't want to meet LL because we've heard how arrogant he was, and LL was that guy. So he's another one from your era. You don't want to meet him. You want to keep him in that place, but forced to meet him as well. He was cool though, but still, I don't like to have long conversations. I keep it real brief and short. I do the same thing to you. You got B-Boy more on the play. I respect the craft of this hip hop thing. Certain people I don't want to call it a pedestal, but I put you in a special place.
Oh,
and I
thanks,
like
man.
to keep that place special for me. So when I see you, I see this B-boy that continues the legacy of hip hop. I need to keep Moy in that place of where hip hop is special to me, because when I see y'all breakdancing, I remember me as a child, and that was a special time for me. You know, because when you're a child, you're confused, you're trying to figure stuff out. But for whatever reason, hip hop was always a place of home and comfort. You know what I'm saying? Even for me and my father, who we never really got along too much, but even with this hip hop thing, we got along. So, you know, certain people, unfortunately, you put them in that little block, but I'm okay with it. So me and you will always have our straightforward, Hatta, hey, all right, man.
Right there.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm cool with that, because I, for me and my soul, I need that. You know what I'm saying?
That's
because
good.
you represent something that's, to me, encompasses
but
everything that I believe in.
I think what you just shared there, I think it's a really good message for anybody, young or old, because I think a lot of people, you know, they wish they could meet this person and meet that person, you know.
Not me. I don't need nobody.
But you know what?
Rob, I tell you, I don't like meeting.
I've been very much the same way.
I don't want to.
It's tough because, again, like, I've met people and I didn't care to meet them, but I've met people and they've let me down.
That's right.
They let me down. But to hold these people for, you know, these in this little special box that you kind of put them in, like, that's where, like where you said, that's where they need to stay. That's where they need to stay, because they make you remember something special of your life.
And you don't want to ruin that.
And you don't want to ruin that.
And
you know?
honestly, I'm like that with a lot of my Houston hip hop heroes too. I don't like to talk to them too much. I love them right where they are. I love Zero. I love Slim Thug. I love Paul. I love Chameleon. You know, I love these guys. I love ESG. I love these guys. I like to keep them in a place. So a lot of times I don't have their numbers, phone numbers. I can't call them at my beck and call. Maybe Paul, because he was on the label, and Cam maybe. But some of the other guys, I don't have their numbers, because I like to keep them in a special place.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I have to. And that's for me.
Yeah.
You know,
but that's good.
And it keeps that separation of what this whole thing is for me. You know, I don't want to. And Rob, that's cool. Rob, he want to be there. He got to be there.
Well, I think
Rob got to hang out with him.
He got to hang out.
Yes, you. Oh, he's the friends of the stars. Hey, Rob, call Slim and try to get him on the air
right now.
Yeah, so he calls. See,
Right now.
friend of the stars.
Well, man, I wanted to ask this on this topic of Houston hip hop. Is I think there was a period where Houston hip hop was like on the map, but it was underrated, and then there was a point still tipping when it exploded, and then there was a period where people kind of started taking bits of the style from it, and I think now it's fully ingrained in hip hop culture, and in one way or the other, it depends on your perspective. I would like to know your perspective if you think people like kind of perpetrated it, took pieces from it, was influenced from it.
I think off that, like, I think there's rappers today that wish they were from Houston.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. There's certain artists who are, for lack of better terms, great cultural appropriators. and
I don't know about
Rob G, the annihilator again.
I think sometimes.
Well, it brings up the fine line between influence and, you know.
Well, I think you like what you like. I think as long as you're using it and you have a form of reference where you've given back to it, me personally, I'm okay with it. You can't help who you're influenced by.
I remember when I first heard T-Pain chopped and screwed. I was like, wait a minute, wait a minute.
You can't keep what's yours in the bottle. It's for everybody.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I can't be mad if any artist has used something, appropriated or whatever you want to call it, with a juicy fat word, and used it. And some of them have used it to their gain. That means y'all need to use it better.
Yeah.
But I can't help if a guy was inspired by something that you did. You should applaud it. Like, wow, he was inspired by something we did, something we created. Now, at some point in time, as long as you at least, I got it from there, that's cool. I ain't saying that you got to put all of them on your record.
Acknowledge a little bit, you know.
At least I got that vibe from there. And sometimes with some of these guys' records, you can hear they're letting you know that they got it from that place. It's not like they're trying to be sneaky. They letting you know. I can't help that this guy is more popular doing it than the guy that originally done it.
For
if
sure.
that's the show, if that's the case, we can go back to hip hop. And what did Jay-Z say about hip hop? He doing it right now because he doing it. What did he say about the Cold Crush?
Oh yeah, for the way y'all paying for all the years that you owe.
I'm getting y'all because of what y'all did to the Cold Crush.
Yeah.
They didn't get paid, so I'm getting all this money.
Yeah.
Now Cold Crush saying was,
Damn.
look, Jay, you take one of our
That's
samples
raw.
and put me on a song. But I understood what Jay-Z was
Jay-Z
trying to
rich
say.
as hell, too.
Yeah. And that's where we see. Can you imagine? This is what we see hip hop go to, where
Yeah.
you can be a billionaire in it.
But
Yeah.
that's the whole
I love
thing.
it. I love
Hip
this.
hop is building.
But I'm not
something
mad
out of
about the
nothing.
people who use what we got.
Well, I just like to
Rose
use. I like to use Houston as an example of like we brought something original. You know what I'm saying? Like
We did.
And I even like going to breaking, like to not go too deep into it, but like Houston hip hop or Houston breaking is like have a choral and it starts with Moy and people like Little John and our crew,
Right,
you know,
right.
and our style really differs from a rock steady style and then a West Coast style. And I always drew parallels between just hip hop and music in general. Like what came out of Houston hip hop wise, you know, with Swisher House and everything and the style and Screw, like that's completely distinct from any style in the West or any style in the East. And I take pride in it. And I think you guys being deep in it and coming from it, y'all can recognize that.
I don't want to say I came from it. I don't take credit for
Yeah.
it. I had a bird's eye view of a lot of the
Yeah.
Bring it
greatness
to 95.
that
So-
happens in the city. I got a chance to see it at a very, inceptional stage, if you will. I got a chance to see it, and it was amazing to see. And now it's amazing to see some of the new guys coming out of the city that they're going beyond what they were given.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Travis and Sauce and all these other
Yeah,
guys.
man.
What's your boy name? Toby.
Oh yeah, Toby in Wigwag.
Say it right.
Yeah.
But it's amazing to watch these new cats, and they're all different.
Right.
That's what I like the
Right.
most. They're not all just doing the same thing. Toby's way different from Sauce. Sauce
Yeah,
is
man.
way different from Travis.
Yeah,
Travis
man.
is way different from
It's
you
something
guys.
about Houston, man. There's
Yeah.
something about Houston that
I love it.
Sauce.
breeds that
Houston got a sauce.
straight up, man.
And I think at some point, everybody like, well, because everybody now pinpoints ATL as that place. Every place gets their moment.
Yeah, for sure.
Every place gets their moment, and just because you don't feel like your place has that moment at the time, don't mean that they can't make the rounds or that nothing's happening. If you open your eyes and look, your city still got a lot of stuff happening.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
hasn't just stopped because you think it stopped.
Yeah.
It's still going on. A lot of these guys, they just viral now. That's the other thing too. People get so wrapped up with the radio. And oftentimes when the guy comes to me, I still feel bad about the guy that'll bring me a CD. Because
My
you
mixtape,
telling me
bro.
you telling me that
Play
you
my
don't
track, man.
understand.
Can you play my
Mixtape, bro.
track?
You're stuck in time. You're
The
stuck
one
in
guy that's still mad at you and hating you because he ain't
Yeah.
got nowhere.
Yeah.
Let me get this straight.
Yeah.
You 40-year-old man.
Oh. Hit him where it
You
hurts.
mad at me because you didn't make it.
Yeah.
Really? Now here's all the opportunity. We got,
I got
social
some of those.
media,
Yeah.
and you're gonna have haters. There's nothing you can do, but God bless them.
Yeah.
Because they take so much energy to hate on you and your success. Boy.
Thanks for taking the time.
They take so much time to be mad at you because of your successes. Don't know your story. You just sat here and told me about your parents being deceased, your child, and you know what? You have way too many things to do to be worried and hating on somebody else.
For sure.
And what I've always learned from those that hate and put down are people who are bitter and sad and don't have the tenacity to get up off their ass and make things happen. So
Yeah.
it's easier for me to blame you and point at you because you're great at what you do, because I wish I could do what you do, but I can't. And I haven't,
Good,
and I
but
and
you
I
press
don't,
pause on a
and
certain
I don't
point in
work
your
as
life.
hard as you, and I want somebody just to give it to me. And I think that you're the doorway and you're the key to my success, as opposed to me getting up off my lazy ass and figuring out a way for myself. It's
Yeah.
easier though to blame you and your success, because it's easy for me to get on Twitter and just go in on you.
And you said something that makes me shout out our apparel line, because you said you
What is
had
it called?
to keep,
Hater?
No, it's called
Haters
it's
make
called
mistakes.
lesson. It's called lesson, and the The hat is
Where's
basically
it
says.
at? Where's the?
Can
y'all
we
got-
bring
how y'all
one,
gonna have
Josh?
a
Can we
pair?
bring one?
How you gonna have?
We gotta get the
How you gonna have a
producer.
apparel but don't have?
Hold on.
nothing?
We gotta get the producer to
Here's
get them.
one. Here's
Get them.
That's
Get
one
them
of
black
them.
and red
He
one.
wore his break free hat today. Yeah.
We go.
This is one of them.
This
This is the Pioneers line.
Ooh,
This is
that's
one of
nice.
them.
That's a nice
Yeah,
fabric right
we're
there.
gonna give you guys a
That's how y'all
gift.
doing it with that kind of
Yeah,
fabric.
We're gonna give you guys a gift right here.
Here I am,
They're
Paul
both
Mad Hattie.
they're
Y'all
new
give that to
era.
Rob
They're
G.
new era. Check these out. These are for you guys.
God
These
dang
are for
it.
you guys.
I want one of these like Rob with this nice little stuff on
Give him
it.
the ostrich one.
Check-
He ain't seen the
Damn,
ostrich one.
bro.
we got.
So check the hat real
Stingray.
quick.
I ain't never even seen. I didn't pay attention to your hat like that. You don't even wear
Let me
hats.
talk about this hat.
Big head bastard. Man.
He's like, I'm gonna wear my break free hat.
No, but you said
I
it.
wear it all the time.
I know you do.
Never
So-
seen you. I-
Real quick, Hatta, you
You got
said
break free in it and everything. I'm buying me one. What
no. Look, you got a gift right here, bro. Look, check this out. You
This
said
is a hat, man. I
You
want
said-
that right there.
you had the keys. You know, everyone has the keys, and the reason why I put lesson is because I feel like my whole life has been a lesson.
Yes, sir.
But
I like that.
why I have also said I have never questioned God, I've never questioned my faith, I've never questioned anybody else, because I'm just a continued learner in life, and I know that I have a key to access whatever door possible.
That boy be preaching.
Right?
too, huh?
So that's why that brand exists
I
today, and there's a message behind it, and that's a gift
Listen.
from us to you guys.
Thank
But
you.
like,
I sure will take it.
and I'll give you guys another one with the keys. You know, that way you guys
Don't
can
worry,
rock.
I'm gonna take Rob G break free.
You know, we're gonna give you guys another
You
one.
don't even know that.
But
yet.
yo, man, that's just the honest truth.
Man,
You just gotta get up.
my dog.
Excuse my language. You just gotta get up off your ass and get up and do
do,
something.
man.
Right.
You know, that's it. That's all it takes.
I think
You know.
right now is when I throw my shameless plug in. I've just gotten off my ass and started doing a podcast called The
Yeah.
Cut Curator.
Cut Curator,
So
man.
this is, all
We're gonna,
the-
we're
I'll be
gonna have
peeping
it. Yeah, you guys can pick from one of these two. You know, so this one has the keys.
Y'all know I like that
black.
black.
Yeah,
so.
we on road black.
Oh
black.
man, I can't get nothing without this guy.
Yeah,
I
that
like
looks
this with
fresh.
the Keys on.
That
That's
one.
nice. I like it.
There you go.
Well, I started the podcast
Wearing this
because
tomorrow with my black on black on black.
I started the podcast.
Cut Curator.
The Cut Curator has an opportunity. I got a ton of information of interviews with with these guys we talk about, like the Rakims and the Run DMCs, and there's people that want to hear it, and we kind of going back to the technology where we live in a world now that's on demand. People want stuff on their own time, and so if they didn't get an opportunity to hear it, when we had the classic hip hop station, here's your opportunity.
You got that archive.
I got that archive.
Yeah, roll it out.
Exactly.
So how can people tune in to Cut Curator?
It's available right now on iTunes. I got it on Apple.
Apple
iTunes,
Music?
Apple Music.
So you
on
just
there.
search Cut
Type
Curator.
in Cut Curator, and it's gonna pop up. I'm on Google Play, TuneIn, Stitcher, wherever you get your download on.
There you go. There you go.
You can hit it up right now.
And what is the schedule of it? It just drops on certain days? or-
Right now, because I've just started. I dropped 4 last week. I was editing
Sick.
one before I even got here. So my goal is to put out 3 to 4 a week.
Dope.
But that's the same thing with us. It's like once you create something, man, content is everything. You just got to keep putting it out, keep putting it out, keep putting it out. So even with this podcast, we just trying to, bring out guests.
That's
people,
cool. Why'd y'all start the podcast? When y'all did that, I like when I saw it on
Yeah.
the thing, I'm like, oh, that's cool. They're doing a podcast.
I think it's important to create a platform where people can come on, share the history, the knowledge, and also debate and give their opinion on whether it's where they came from and their influences, or the history, or where hip hop is going, or just anything. I mean, we talked about my personal life. It could be anything.
Sorry about that,
but
bro.
no, it's all good. I think that people may see you guys on social media, and to a lot of people, you guys may be unapproachable. But at the same time, we get a little bit more in depth into the life of Mad Hatter, the life of Rob G, the life of Moy, the life of Jeremy.
Yeah, we
that
were just
people don't get to listen
in
to.
Philly at one of the biggest competitions, and we had so many people come up and talk about the podcast and share like specific bits of the podcast. So with us traveling, naturally, I think it allows people to get an in-depth look at what goes on in the back end here at Breakthrough.
Listen, when y'all do the one when you get the crazy leg up here, you can say to him that he judged against you.
Yeah.
Make sure you give me the 2-day warning.
Yeah, you're gonna tune in for that one. Yeah, you best believe it.
Because that one gonna get a little spicy.
That's
right
gonna get
there.
the
Because
most
I know
views.
Mr. Legs is one to say what it feels.
Yep.
And I know
Yep.
you want to say what you feel, so that's gonna be a spicy edition of the
Crazy Jeremy, that's what they. Crazy Jeremy.
Just let me know 2 days. It's going down, Hatter.
Yo, real quick though, Hatter, I got something for you, right? So I grew up listening to you in the early 90s, mid 90s. You used to do this thing on 97.9 The Boss called the roll call. You know, so
he was practicing it earlier.
I couldn't even remember it. You know, I was trying to remember it, but
say who's on the mic with Hatter's crew.
let's hear it one more time.
What's up, y'all? What you gotta say? Who's on the mic with Hatter's crew? Here's the truth about this though. This is stolen from the Baker Boys. And I think
he said stolen.
Yeah, it is. Back in the days where you know, there was, you know, wasn't so much syndication going on and stuff like that, and you could go to a city and hear something real dope and be like, I wonder if that will work. I bet it will. And so I started it as a joke, and you know how you start something as a joke, you're like, damn, they was calling all night for that, really?
Yep.
And then you do it again, and then it became something that I had to do. It got so bad when they had me come from. It used to be 102 Jams, which is now Magic 102, and they went to the box, and I went over there. I was doing it in the afternoons. I got tired of doing it, so one day I just stopped. Yeah. And the GM was getting so many calls, he threatened my job, and said, "Hatter, you're going to bring back the roll call." I said, "Let's see who wins this." As you know, the roll call never came back.
Yeah. Yo, but the roll call was
big.
It was huge. It was huge.
Big. I can't lie.
So people would call in and
it was. And for anybody that doesn't know, basically it was a call and response show, and or part of the show where we did this little line. It's almost like a song. We did the hook. You did the rap. What's up, y'all? What you got to say? Who's on the mic? You got the crew today.
Well, it's that boy Rob G coming out the SWAT, doing what I got to do because these hats is hot.
That sounds cool, and that may be, but where you calling from? What's your set, G?
Southwest is where I rep. Everywhere I go, it's Nike's on my steps.
Ooh, Southwest. So we do about 3 or 4 people like this, and it was all live. I'm not even sure how we got, because we came through the gangster period where people was cussing up a storm, and it never happened.
Yo, and that's exactly how I remember it, because I remember like some of my gangster homies would, I'm like, no, I just heard you on the radio.
Clean, you know? Following the rules. And I shout out to my partner J Matt, because he was the one that had the orchestrating, like he got, hey man, don't say the N-word, don't cuss, cut your radio off. It was a lot that went into it.
And after a while, he put a little calling card. He had a little index box of people
we knew. Yeah, that we knew it could go off.
Right. Yeah. He kept a little pin.
So you have like 1 or 2 whack ones and two thorough. And you know, every now and again you see they'll pop up and you'll seem like, oh, remember me? I used to be on your roll call. You bet. And y'all.
Yeah, check it out. We
got somebody said,
yes, bring the roll call.
My dad and I
would listen to this.
Crack up. A lot of good.
Bruh, I don't.
Shout out, Lady Bo Bandon.
Hey, today somebody else. Everywhere I go, people still bring up the roll call.
You think it would work today? You think it would work?
It probably.
Man, I think it would.
It probably would. The work.
You have people calling with auto tune. You have people calling with auto tune
once a week.
It requires so much work.
You better do a 30-year anniversary of the roll call.
I'm too old to worry about if somebody gonna curse on the radio or not, bruh. My boss today said you should bring it at least once every other week.
It's brought up.
At least somebody says, man, you need to bring it back. If it's not somebody, a listener, it's one of
the roll call was off the chain.
It's one of the bosses. I'm telling you, my boss today said, hey, man, you really need to consider bringing back this roll call. I just acted like I didn't hear it.
If it comes back, we're going to take credit for it.
You know why? Here's why it came up. The artist Major.
Right.
I just want to be honest. He made this song. This guy is incredible singer. But, you know, these guys, they blow up. They, you know, and they do their thing in music. And when they meet me, it's like, oh my God, I'm meeting the dude who I grew up to on the radio, which is always crazy to me. So first thing they do when they see me is, what's up, y'all? So he was going crazy. That's the first thing he started doing. And then my boss like, see, you need to bring it back. See. I'm like, yeah, I see, all right.
Because this guy,
so you're low-key mad at us for bringing this up. You're like,
I'm sure you had people just coming to you, hey, what's up, roll call? What's up, roll
No,
call?
I mean, you know what? Look, I understand. It was done for so many years. And if you lived in Houston during that period of time, there was no way for you to. You might not even have listened to my show. You might have just turned in for the roll call because you want to hear people rap. And then we had special editions. It might be schools battling schools.
Yep, I remember
Then we had
that.
our best MCs, and they would be battling. Or I'd be like, you know what?
And then
How much money can I come up with?
Right.
I got $1,000 of my own money. Let's do it for $1,000. You know, you put money on the line.
for
All
sure.
all your top row. I used
Yep.
to call her my top row caller. I can't remember this one girl's name. She was always super dope. I thought this girl was gonna make it in the rap industry. I wonder what
She was just
doing.
fire every
She
time.
was dope.
She got
was
depressed
dope.
because you
She was
took the
dope.
roll call
Yeah,
off the
yeah.
radio.
I just
Thanks a lot, Hatta.
it's just a lot.
It's your fault why she's not successful today.
Dang.
I get
Oh, my bad. Lil Rob G just got in me, started annihilating your soul.
Hey, look, it happens all the
Shout
time.
out MC Queen B. That never was.
But, you know,
MC
it was
wannabe Queen
great.
B.
It was great.
MC
what we
Third
were
Ward
doing.
Queen.
Let me just give props. So the Baker Boys and then Ed Lover started doing it in New York. So the Baker Boys were doing it in Cali. Don't know what the connection was. I think they were working for the same company. Maybe tell Ed about it. So I don't hope Ed gets mad at me or the Baker Boys. But I always thought that the Baker Boys started it, Ed started doing it, and then I stole it from Ed. But it could be that Baker Boys got it from Ed. Whoever, I stole it from one of them.
Yeah.
But salute to the Baker Boys. They were incredible. Of course, Ed, who was doing Boom, incredible talent as well. MTV, everybody knows Ed. And it gave me years of staying power in Houston just doing the roll call. And my managers, they absolutely loved and adored it. But one day, it's just like I think like any artist, they've been performing that song for so long.
Yep.
And it was fun when we had my man Steve Nice was the DJ. And let me tell you,
Damn,
shout
I
out to
remember
Steve
that.
Nice.
Wow.
Now we did because when we first started doing, we used the music from Janae. Hey, Mr. DJ, because
Yep.
on purpose I wanted to keep it friendly sounding.
Yeah.
I never wanted to give anyone a thug.
And then y'all got gangster with it.
No, I mean we never went there because if you have that music that goes along with it,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
cussing,
yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
For sure.
So we kept
Yeah.
it real.
He would
feeling
open
with
it up
real
with my
feel vibe.
ambitions as a
Yeah.
rider.
But
Right?
Steve
It was a lot different.
Was great. And to this day, this guy, he would cut and scratch every break. Like every time a rapper would rap, he would change. I still to this day don't know how he did it because this is the day of still using wax.
Right.
And Steve was using like every time we
And he went
chorus,
in a room that was close by.
so he could see us.
Right.
So it's all off of vibe and ear because he had Steve is an incredible DJ.
Yeah.
I guess got to give it up to Steve. But he had good feel.
Right.
And to me, I was never able, after we started getting Steve to DJ it. After Steve was not DJing it for us anymore, I just never was able because everybody tried to duplicate what he created as well.
Right.
Because when he came along, it took it
It
up
was a
another
different-
notch.
Yeah.
It was a
You
different-
know,
Yeah.
we were doing then because you get tired of things like you want to try something different. And then when Steve, we never talked about it or discussed it. That's what made it great. He
Yeah.
just naturally did what he did. And
Dope.
then one day when he's not there no more, you're like, I don't want to do it no more. I ain't
Yeah.
feeling it. I don't want to go back to using Janae. You know,
Yeah,
it
Moy,
just-
why don't you do that move anymore?
Man, just not feeling it.
You just don't feel it no more. You don't want to do it.
You
You've
don't want
done-
to use your name.
And trust me, I get that all the time too. But it's a different time.
Do
It's a
break
different
dances
vibe.
get like you get that one move that you know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's your
There's a
signature
move. There's a
Oh,
move
yeah.
that European b-boys called the Moy. It was just called the Moy.
So you got tired of doing it,
Yeah.
and you just like,
Which
you know,
one is
I'm
that?
Well,
not.
it's like a foundational
It's
move now.
it's become just a universal move. Everybody uses it.
He wasn't
So
the
I
first
was-
one to do it.
I
but-
wasn't
So
the
you
first
can't.
one.
So you
So
can't.
it's
You
a-
can't trademark a move, can you?
I mean, you can. People got signature moves,
Not
but
legally.
with, yeah, you know.
It's called an air baby, so you basically holding yourself up like
And
that.
the first person that I seen do it was a b-boy named Prince Ken Swift. So even Ken Swift was from the Beat Street. You know, he came on Beat Street, Wild Style.
So why?
all these
So why they
moves.
pinned it as you though?
He was the
Because
first one to take it.
I was the
and
first
go
one to
up with
take it,
and then
to
go
hold it
down,
for one hand
spin
for a
with
long
it.
time, spin with it, lift it up one hand. Even Ken Swift came up to me and said, "You're the first person I ever seen do that." So once
So he
Kenny
knew it
told
was
me
his
that,
move.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
So he said, "You're the
He
first
didn't- he
person
didn't
I've
do
ever
it the way he
seen
did it. He
take
took
it
it
to
to
another level."
Yeah, right. He respected like, oh, okay, you took that move and you did something extra with
But
it.
to this day, if you like YouTube,
The Moy.
like learn the Moy, there's people in France like have tutorials on YouTube and different places in Europe, and
That
they're
teach
called
your
it-
move.
Yeah, it's called that.
That's crazy.
They renamed it the Moy because I guess I popularized.
Yeah.
You
know,
took it
the
to
move.
another level.
Yeah.
So I think the creator has to respect that, right? It's like if you you create the computer, but somebody else makes it faster.
Oh,
You
yeah.
gotta
Right.
respect the guy
For
that
sure.
made it
Yeah.
faster, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Flipping
want
it.
to know who's your most memorable guest on air and why. Cosmo.
Cosmo next door.
Cosmo D from outer space.
Yeah.
Came to rock the human race. Rock, because you can't do it wrong. That's why the whole world needs to
So
see
who
this
has
song.
been your most memorable guest on the air?
Wow.
It will soon be Moy and Jeremy,
Yeah.
but
But for
I
now,
don't know.
leading up
Most
to that
memorable, this is gonna sound. It's not bad, but sort of. I know we just had Snoop Dogg on the air, and I told him about my first meeting, and it kind of could have went really, really bad. This again is the gangster era, and Snoop is fresh, Death Row, Suge Knight, etc., etc. So
Murder Case?
there's competing radio stations. So I'm working 102 Jams. There's 97.9 The Box, and shout out Mean Green, love you to death. But Mean Green was in with everybody from Death Row. Like literally, he could pick up the phone, talk to Tupac. That's what this guy was with Mean Green.
Damn.
So shout out to Mean Green. He knew them all. Dr. Dre, he could pick up the phone, get Dre on the phone. He could pick up the phone, talk to Suge. I don't know what his relationship is now, but back in the days, he was that dude. He could pick up the phone and talk to these incredible celebrities. So he just picked up the phone, Snoop. They ain't playing your song across the street, player. I don't know why you're going over there. So Snoop is already feeling a particular way, knowing that he got to come to the station. So I get on the radio because I heard what happened. So I'm just being me, being funny Hatter. 102 Jams. Well, Snoop's supposed to come up here, but he might not. We'll see. Y'all stick around. So I guess he hears this. He's
Snap.
like, "This my man, you know,
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg, my thing." So he come up there like ready, like on whatever. He comes up there. They get on the radio. They are wilding out, cussing, acting a fool. This is all live on radio. I think at the time, Sugar's with a lady by the name of, is it Tracy Knight? I might be getting her name wrong, but they rolling with his wife at the time. She gangster too. Player.
so how many people actually
this is
rolled in the
entourage,
studio?
This is when people roll with entourages, bro.
Yeah.
This is probably like,
12, 15.
let's say 20 just for a nice round number.
Wow.
So they thick. So if anything pops off, it's not gonna be a good night. But I'm
Yeah.
I'm gonna go out like a like a don.
Like a
So
G.
I got in my head, if it's gonna happen, it's just gonna happen. You know, in this industry that we work in, you say to yourself, if it's gonna happen, I'm gonna just have to go out like a G.
Yeah.
So you got that in your head. You don't know what's gonna happen, but you're gonna be I got to be a DJ too and do my job and try to get
Yeah.
the best job out for the audience too. So anyway, whatever they doing, they acting up, and she don't like it. So she pulls him out. Snoop don't remember none of this because, like I said, I just seen him a week ago and I had this conversation. He's like, whatever. So
He was high as hell.
She calls all of them out the studio. I don't know what she says, but when they came back, they were acting like angels.
Of course.
These
Set 'em
thugs,
straight real quick.
these thugs, and I know the rest of them probably killers, were all of a sudden like a choir. And they were on their
Interesting.
best behavior. Me and Snoop had the best of times. I had some food. He was, dog, I'm hungry, man. Dang. I said, hey, man, I got some shrimp and fish over there. For real, dog, low? Yeah. I said, man, go knock yourself out. He started eating my shrimp. Everybody was happy. He ate my shrimp. Man, these shrimp is down, man. And it was really cool.
That's cool.
And Snoop is still cool to this day. And we had a great interview just recently, too, when he came here for the play. And the funny thing is, he isn't. I said, I think we good to go now, huh, Snoop? Like, nah, bruh, we ain't good till you smoke with me.
I'm trying to keep my job, bro.
I've seen or been around people that he smoked around who are smokers who said that they don't mess with Snoop when it comes to smoking. So I know I don't got a chance to smoke with him. If he smoke anything like these smokers say he smoke, type of stuff he smoke, I might not live.
Yeah.
So I can't even take this risk.
Yeah.
But it was cool that he was cool. Though.
That's
He's
cool.
a cool guy. I don't know if I have a best interview. You know what? I literally don't like doing interviews. I don't like meeting artists because what you have to do is you have to be ready for whatever their personality is.
Yeah.
For
And
sure.
some of them come in there like, don't ask me certain questions.
Yeah,
and-
divas.
yeah, you know,
He
like,
may not
wait
put
a
it
minute.
out
Just
there, but
say
there was
it,
one-
divas.
There was I wasn't there, but
Wait,
Jimbo-
are they your friends?
No, they're not.
They're all history.
But Jimbo has told the story so much that this one particular actor, I'll say
Oh, I know his name.
Man, just say the name.
Morris Chestnut.
Morris Chestnut.
Morris Chestnut.
If people don't know who Morris Chestnut is, what's
Morris
the classic movie?
Best man.
Come on.
Morris is an incredible actor. I will say that. I have nothing bad. I can still watch his movies. I retain my hatred only for one artist of all time.
That's true.
But everybody
but
else.
Wait, who is that?
But anyway, Jimbo.
I don't even say this cat's name because he don't deserve it.
Why you just putting
If
these
you from Houston,
disclaimers
you
out?
know.
Right.
I know exactly who I don't like.
Snap.
It's not a secret.
No, not really. Apparently, Morris Chestnut came in, was coming up for an interview, and Hatta had already worked out.
How you
something
telling my story?
Because,
heard so many times.
I'm telling it completely third hand from what Jimbo told me, that there were two box listeners. Hatta had worked out something where they could come in and sit in on a show one day, because it's just kind of get cool dude he is. So they were there, they were sitting there, they're just kind of chilling on the side, enjoying the show. And handlers always mess up everything. They always mess up everything. So one of the handlers apparently comes over and says,
Somebody just put Ricky.
That probably is the most famous one. So one of the handlers comes in and says, excuse me.
Oh, that's Boys in the Hood right there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Morris doesn't want his fans in here.
Ricky didn't make it out of Boys in the Hood.
While he's doing the interview, Morris doesn't want his fans in here. And
wow,
as Jimbo legend has it, he's not for that foolishness. He's not for the foolishness. He's like, look, you talking about your fans? These people came here on my behalf. They want to sit in. These people are my guests, and
I'm not about to kick them out.
And I'm not about to kick them out because when you leave and go off to another city, these people will still be living here.
Yeah.
So we've got 3 more minutes left before the next commercial, and we can start this.
No,
interview.
it was not. It was like 50 seconds.
It was
or
50
something
seconds. Okay.
So I said he got 50 seconds to be sitting across from me, or I'll talk to Jimbo.
damn, you a G.
No, I'm real.
Yeah.
These two ladies over here, they wanted to be part of this show. You two fly. Now, I don't know if his handlers was on one, because you never know sometimes. Sometimes it's the handlers. It's not. Sometimes they might think it's you, B-boy.
Yeah.
But it's your handlers, and they got more ego than you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
By handlers, you mean like their manager?
Your manager or something like
handler,
that.
yeah.
Sometimes managers are way over the top.
For sure.
They come in,
No doubt.
and I get it. Their job is to take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever they got to do to make you comfortable, they're going to do. If it means they got to ruffle
Mm-hmm.
feathers, they will. So I don't. That's to this day I don't.
So they
really
didn't
know.
shoot the wrong person in Boys in the Hood.
But here's the funny thing: 30 seconds. Guess who was sitting in front of me?
Morris Chestnut.
Yeah. But he was not very nice in between. Like
in there with
when
a
we went in the
Damn.
commercial break on the air, you wouldn't have known anything. Because as soon as I literally I said 97.9 about, hey, Morris Chestnut is here. Hey, we did because I handle my business. I don't.
Well, you're a professional. You gotta do what you gotta do.
But during when we were in the commercial break, he threw up a newspaper and started reading the newspaper. I'm like, wow, this is
What a
really-
BD.
Yeah.
But
That's pretty memorable.
I don't necessarily hate him or anything like that.
That
It's funny,
sounds-
he came down for another play, and they said, we heard that you have a problem with him, so we told him not to go to the radio station.
Oh,
they got
wow.
Michelle Williams from Destiny's Child to come. I was like, they still talking about that to this day? They like, yeah, they still talk about that.
Wow.
I'm like,
Well, you made an impact on his life.
I don't know, but he's an incredible actor. Another
For sure.
dark-skinned brother. I have nothing bad to say.
That
about
sounds
him.
pretty tame though compared to other stories I've read about celebrities. And
I
know,
think
like, keep
so.
it quiet.
I've never. Have we ever gotten? I could tell you stuff where gunplay was a part of it, and I don't want to go into none of those kind of things.
Wow, that's
Or
crazy.
Open up a studio. Or,
Well, this is kind of random, but did you ever meet ODB or any Wu-Tang
No,
or anything?
and I never met Tupac. Those are the two that people will always ask you. I saw Tupac. This is during the time when he was on the Source, at the Source Awards, and me and my partner J Mac, we were in New York, and we seen Tupac wilding out in New York, like on the streets. I'm like, yo,
Dang.
Pac is wild, son. He just didn't give a.
Yeah.
So we just saw him wild out, but never really met him face to face. Somebody asked me recently if I met Biggie. I saw Biggie because he did a show for us, but I did not want to meet him. Another one of
Yeah.
those. You respect him so much, it would take one thing for me not to feel him. Puffy, of course. Puffy is cool and arrogant, but I like him. My biggest memory will be one, you don't like rolling with celebrities, and that could be from Puffy to Little J, because when you roll with them, you're in their world.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Your
your
day is not
world,
your own.
your world does not belong to you anymore. And I won't tell a Little J story, but I was just like, whew, what a world. This is when he still had Floyd Mayweather, though. And Floyd Mayweather had like $500,000 worth of jewelry then. Because they do what they want to do when they want to do it. I will tell this part.
course.
We were rolling, and 3 o'clock in the morning, they wanted to play basketball. The whole mafia, all of them. Like, y'all, we just gonna stop and play basketball?
It's like Prince.
There's a gym
Like
open
Prince
at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Prince and Charlie Murphy.
And here's Jay Prince and a whole crew of people that I don't know who they are, and Floyd Mayweather becoming Floyd Mayweather, but still Floyd Mayweather with $500,000 worth of jewelry on, who takes off $500,000 worth of jewelry and put it on the floor to play basketball. I'm like, this is crazy. So the whole time you're watching this at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're tired, your eyes are red, you're seeing all these guys, and you're like, I can't do it. And Puffy, I was riding in a limousine. The driver hits something or does something. I literally get out the car and say, okay, I'm done with this. And I call one of my partners, hey, I'm at the Soundwaves when they still have record stores.
Soundwaves,
come
wow.
and hit me. But the party that he had was still one of the craziest parties I've ever. He was dancing on the bar and all that, but it got too. I'm one of those kind of people, when it started getting too crazy, I'm leaving. Like, it got real crazy. And once I saw him dancing on the bar.
You don't want no part.
My vibe said, all right,
in the aftermath.
We just entered the crazy zone.
Yeah.
I think I'm about to leave now. I done seen them dance. The crowd is too many people. I'm one of those kind of people, I will burn out. I'm like, I'm feeling that vibe, but it was still a great night. I don't really, like I said, I don't have any bad celebrity meetings that I will speak on. And I don't really have no, you always get handled by the handlers.
Yeah.
And and then what's the boxer, the one funny, when the guy called the radio station that went off on us, and I played his call on the radio. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. What's the boxer, not with Floyd, Hispanic brother.
Oscar De La Hoya?
Yeah. This guy was.
They've been going at it online lately.
Well, you know
see
what?
that?
And Oscar is cool as ice, by the way.
Yes.
But
Favorite
somebody
rapper,
that supposedly had worked for him I guess he was trying to assert some kind of power or something with me. Like, he went off. And so I played the call on the radio. I'm like, yeah.
Oscar's people.
Sorta,
yeah.
But I played him on the radio and let this clown do all this craziness and then asked the audience, so what do y'all think?
Damn.
And I guess Oscar people heard it, and Oscar like, I'm coming up there tomorrow.
Wow.
I do remember that.
It was that
Wow.
crazy. Like, we couldn't believe how this guy just went crazy. I'm like, this is ridiculous. But Oscar came up there. He was super, super cool. But as far as like artists, never know bad stuff. You get handlers. They tell you can't ask 50. Like, it was 50 Cent. You can't ask him this. You can't ask him this. As soon as 50 walked in, I said, 50. They told me I couldn't ask you. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
50 said, I don't know why they told you that. They answered all the questions. So a lot of times, the only thing with me is if they give me these lines where you can't ask this or you can't ask this, I'll tell my boss, I don't want to interview him. Because if you go to New York and you talk to these other kids, you'll tell them about your dirty draws, some girl who's whatever you licked and all this, and then you get here, I don't really want to talk about that. I just want to stay away from it. But you'll go over here, you talk about, well, go, you just talk to them. I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
That's cool. You got like stuff. What advice would you give for youth interested in pursuing a career in radio? Don't do it. No, you know what I really would say? Look at what you guys are doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think we live in a world now where you have to figure out, if you have a voice and you have something you want to say, I think radio is changing. This is the God's honest truth. I think, no disrespect to the craft that I work in, it's given me some great years. I think it is changing. And I think in the next 2 to 3 years, it evolves into something else because it's about content now. It's about video, being able to see and hear it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And when I want to hear it. Like, somebody will go back, you'll post this up, and somebody will go back and watch it when they want to. Like, you're live right now, but they don't care.
Yep.
They're going to watch it when they get off work because that's when they want to work it because it's convenient for them.
Yep.
And that's the world we live in now where I want to hear what I want to hear when I want to hear.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as, remember back in the days, it used to be appointment television watching.
Yeah.
We had to be there. Yeah, must see TV. We got to be
I
there.
gotta go home.
I remember there was a point on the box when you guys would play the Cybertron, the Planet Rock, and all this stuff, and I'd make sure I know this time slot because I would record it because that was my practice
those
tape.
Those times are done.
Oh, wow.
Now you want what you want when you want it. Television, radio, everything. Man, that was a cool conversation. Hey, people call us, hey, is that online somewhere?
Yeah.
I can imagine.
We just had this conversation live on the radio. What do you
Exactly.
mean?
Yeah.
No, because they've been taught that whatever they hear, they can go somewhere else and find it later on.
Yeah.
We're
spoiled today.
I don't want to say we're spoiled. The world has just changed, and either you adapt or you die.
Yeah.
So what
That's
I
good.
tell people all the time, especially youngsters that want to be in radio, there is so much that's given to you now. You got Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You get
YouTube.
on your YouTube. Everything my kid, she's incredible. Everything she learned, thank God for YouTube. Because me as a father, I didn't know how to tell this little girl how to do her hair.
Yeah.
She learned how to do her hair. She would do a style to her hair, and I'm like, hey, who did that? I did that. How? YouTube. Oh, okay. You know, so
Good.
it's like, yeah.
Good for you.
I didn't know if it's good. I don't know how I feel now. Stop watching YouTube. No. But, you know, there's an opportunity now if you have good content. What you guys are doing right now is creating good content. The show that y'all do with Crazy Legs, that's going to be some great content.
Some great content, I'll tell you.
Jeremy might fight that day.
Yeah.
I got to see this. I got to see this episode.
Yeah.
I got to be there.
We're gonna fly Crazy Legs in
Y'all
and make
might-
that
y'all
happen.
might-
We're gonna fly
y'all
Crazy
might-
Legs
yeah.
in, make that happen.
brother.
Call you guys here. Make sure you guys are
Y'all
right
gonna be
there,
right there.
live.
Popcorn.
But really, that's the world that we live in. So it's not to say anything bad about what we do and how we do it now, but it is evolving and it is changing. And I believe that if you really love broadcasting, yeah, it's good to learn the finer techniques of it, because we got too many people who just say, I'm a blogger. And people now, they blog information, it ain't true. They don't do no research. Hey, man, and then here's the only thing I hate about all this is that there's some characters out there that they can create a whole falsehood on Instagram.
Yeah.
There are people out there that say they
Influencers.
give to the community, they do this, they do
Yeah.
that, and they ain't do
Influencers.
nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you tell this story on Instagram and you don't know no better because you just follow them on Instagram, you believe everything you see.
Yeah.
And we've become a society, we believe whatever you put on these screens.
Right.
And that becomes our truth. But remember, you only get 30 seconds to a minute to see something that somebody's doing. And that becomes your whole story.
Yeah.
And people believe this to be the full story.
And
But if
people-
you were to
people
dig a
put their
little
best
bit
out there,
deeper
too.
after minute 1, if you could go to minute 05, you would see as this person leaves the scene after helping whomever he was supposed to be helping.
Yeah.
But
for
we
sure.
haven't done enough research, and so we believe the slanderous
narrative.
lies,
You can
the
control-
narratives
yeah.
that they've put out there, and it's amazing for me to watch it. And those that have lied to their fans like that, I actually applaud them a little bit. I'm like, wow, you've created a whole falsehood based on
narrative.
lies. This narrative that you told of your story, and it's actually believable, and especially if you tell stories and there's nobody else to tell another side of the story. And in
Wow.
some cases, some of us decide not to tell the other story, because if you want to believe that dumb shit, you got to go for it.
Yeah.
Who am I to rule your dreams of whom you look up to?
So
You follow the fool.
don't get in the radio, kids. No.
My thing is, the ultimate thing is, if you're interested in doing anything, do research and have great content.
Yes.
Create great content. Create good conversation. And know what you're talking about.
For sure.
And everybody gossips.
Yeah.
Be somebody that has a little bit something.
That's easy to do.
That's
easy. I can
Super
tell you
easy
some
to do.
stuff about Rob G that woo,
Oh, we
blow
can tell
your
you some
mind.
stuff about Rob.
But you know, it's so easy to do that, because you know why they do this? Because it gets automatic hits.
Yeah.
And the more hits I get, the more money I can get.
Yeah.
And then when I get like 1 million followers, I can then go to some brand and say, I get this kind of interaction on social media,
Yeah.
so you should give me X amount of dollars. So a lot of times, even with those social media sites, they'll post up the story about the fake news givers or the fake person that gives a narrative, because all they're looking for is the click.
Yeah.
Because the click is what helps them drive their numbers and helps them to get advertisers to give them money.
For sure. Yeah.
So it's this crazy, notorious feeding off of each other deal.
It's his
But
own
find
beast.
that content. Find that content.
I hope y'all learning something.
Adapt or die. And that's for young folks and older folks as well.
That's
Adapt
real.
or die. You know, I even myself, I got online stations. I got an old school one.
Classic.
Let's shout those out.
Classic
It's
Shout those out.
classic joints. When they
That's
took
both
off,
of y'all, right?
When they took off Boom, we created classic joints. Sure, it's both of us. Go with it, Rob. It's classic joints. So we play all the old school joints on classic joints 24/7, 365.
And they can access that where?
Oh, just grab the app.
Yeah.
Classic
Everything-
joints.
Look, everything. Oh, my phone getting charged.
With a K.
Everything.
With
Where
a
your phone
K.
at? Everything you want is in your phone these days.
Yeah.
Everything. So you just download the app, Classic Joints with a K. But if you even type in the C, it'll still pop up. But Classic Joints, and then we got one called Super Throwback Party.
There you go. And it's on. You guys are Instagram as well, right?
Instagram
Yeah.
and
At
yeah, all
Rob
this,
G, the general.
all that, Instagram, and of course the app. And the app is free. It's not for sale or anything like that. You just get the app, and so you always got that old school hip hop and R&B, or you got the old school R&B jokes with the
Yeah.
super
See,
throwback
playing on
party.
classic joints
So,
right now.
Well, man.
they not changed my screen yet. Ooh, your mama wolf ticket. What y'all know about that wolf ticket, your mama? That's that classic hip hop right there. That's some old
Let's see.
1982. Now, here we go.
Bring that closer to the mic,
Yeah, bring
G.
it close to the mic.
You hear that?
You now tuning in to Classic Joints.
Oh, you should do a show on this, bro.
I've heard this
Oh,
before.
you know this? Oh,
I don't know where, but
oh, you know what? Oh, you know why you know it? The Far Side. The
Yeah.
Far Side we did it.
that's
That's
exactly
where
what
you
it's
know it
from.
from. You know it from the
Lab
Far Side.
Cabin.
I know it from the group called Wolf Ticket.
Wow.
But
That's
I also
dope.
know the Far Side. Okay, they had it.
That's fresh.
So that's just it's just 24/7 running.
24/7.
And
Classic Joints. Get the app. Follow them on Instagram.
Yeah.
Classic with a K.
Yes.
But please listen to 97.9 The Box.
Yep.
I don't need my
Number one station
our
in
people to see
H-Town.
this and be like, so let me get this straight. You
You
guys are
wouldn't know.
really promoting all this other stuff.
No, especially tune in whenever we get on the show.
Yeah.
we get
So
on
we're gonna have to
Quit
make that
saying y'all
happen.
should come up there for real.
Man, let us
y'all
know.
should come up there.
But yo, man, we've had an amazing time with you guys. You guys
This is cool. I
dropped.
think I asked more questions. My apologies.
It's all good.
Nah, man, it was
It's
great.
all good. This is,
People
hey,
loving it, man.
it's your time,
People
bro.
loving it.
This is
My
about y'all.
apologies once again.
Nah,
These are
no
just questions that I
apologies.
have for you. Like, I didn't know these things about y'all. I would have never known.
It's
I
all-
don't like the pride like Rob G. Rob G wants to get in all your business. He wants to know your wife personally.
Yeah.
He
Wait,
wants
what?
To have, he wants, no.
Wait, I see you leaving
I was
comments
like,
on the.
my wife's a G. She'll stab him, bro. She'll stab him.
That's Kelly.
Look,
Now that you mention it, you be leaving comments on the my wife.
look,
Hold on, 1 second.
I don't want you to get upset
One second,
about
Rob
that,
G.
and I don't want his wife to kill him.
You get a little needle on your neck right now.
Stay with me. So let me be clear. My rooms are used up by my young ladies that I got there. So there's no room for that. My children.
Not
My children.
Whoa.
But after they leave, all jokes.
But no, man, we look up to you guys, man.
Yeah.
Oh, stop. We
And
look
no,
up
no,
to
no.
you
In
guys,
so
man.
many
We really
ways.
respect
In
you
so
guys.
many ways, man.
Thank you guys for coming.
So
No,
thank
I
you
respect
guys.
what you guys are doing. And here's the thing, man. And this is with anything. When you see somebody that's able to live their dream the way they want to live their dream, and this is not to say you don't have ups and downs. Obviously, you told us your story.
For sure.
You and Jeremy as well. And Jeremy, you know what? Every Batman needs a Robin. And this is no disrespect to saying Robin.
Oh, man.
But you need somebody that
Kinda look like
believes.
him, bro.
You
Look
need
like
somebody that believes
Yeah.
in your dreams sometimes.
Yeah.
They call me Lil Moy on the street.
You know,
No.
and I
Chill,
don't,
bro.
I don't
Don't
mean
go
this
that
in a
far.
I don't mean this in a disrespectful way. I mean this that this guy is loyal. You
Oh,
understand
he's
what I
a
mean?
man, bro.
And oftentimes in life,
He would leave my show to come over here to you.
no, oftentimes in life you don't see people who are loyal. And to me, loyalty
Very hard to find.
Loyalty is everything because the people who are loyal to me, I would literally die.
You
for
could
them.
say that
This is real.
3 more
I mean,
times
Yeah.
I
for
mean,
people to
this
hear.
is real life. I mean, this is true.
Yeah.
The people who are loyal to me and the people who are loyal to me, they know who they are. I literally will die for them. I will hurt for them. I will kill for them. I mean this.
Yes.
And when you see people who are loyal to people who are willing, because I know the people that I'm loyal to will never put me in a bind.
For sure.
They will never do these wrong things that will put my life in question.
Yep.
So I know if anything happens to them or something has been done and they need me, there's a reason.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And Jeremy is loyal to you in this cause of Break Free like that. And I
Yeah.
admire that about him because
Yeah.
most people are not loyal and it's what they can get out of something. I'm not saying that Jeremy doesn't get joy out of this thing called Break Free, but he believes in the person that helped or that put this together and he believes in that dream wholeheartedly and he's willing to put his life
Yeah. Definitely.
on the line for it.
Definitely.
He is sacrificed and given his life to this dream. And to all great leaders, there's this unseen guy sometimes. If you find Martin Luther King, I can assure you there's some guy
Ralph
that was with
Abernathy.
him.
Yep.
You can do this with all the greats. Like there's a woman that was beside him.
Hey,
there was
that's why I'm
also-
sitting right here and he's sitting right there.
For real. as there is a woman generally, there is also this brother
Yep.
that had his back
Andrew
the whole
Jackson.
time that will go
Jesse
to
Jackson.
war for him
Yep.
no matter what. And they are necessary to help you when you fall and you need help.
Accountability is everything, man.
You know,
And we need
and
that.
They will,
Yeah.
they will put you in your place. And they respect your position, and here's the funny thing, and they're okay in the position that they chosen.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's a hard road to toil, to know that you may not be this guy, and you're okay with the role you're playing with that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, it's one thing I always tell him, and I've told a lot of the guys that I consider really close and part of Break Free, is that I've never tried to put myself above anybody. And
a good leader never does.
I've always, whether it's on the b-boy level battling or on a business level, I'm always side by side, ready to go to war with anything, because that's what we do. We're soldiers together, you know.
Listen, the reason why, with true leaders, some people are false leaders. And I've gotten a chance to see some of these false MC rap leaders in this city, because you see the way that their teams fall off because they don't truly believe in them, because they know that this person is not a leader.
Yeah.
This person is false. But you can see true leaders because Jeremy is not looking at you like this is my boss or you're above me.
Yeah.
This is guy, he's looking at you. Look at him. You guys are eye level.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying?
Well, he's a little taller than me, but
but he knows, he understands your mission and your goal and what this is about.
Right.
And he's willing to do what it takes to help build this.
For sure. Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing.
It is, man.
It is,
and that's hard to find.
He knows that this is not about ego for you, or I'm the mom. This is my, you know what I'm saying? You're not that guy. You're not that guy. And if you start being that guy, he will probably be the guy to go, hey, boy, let me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I admire y'all's like say commitment to building what you built. Like I said, I remember when it was just over on the side, when you moved over to the Heights, and now this is my first time being back over here and seeing this new space that y'all have created in addition to what you had over there. And like you said, man, one of the things
I don't know why the bar is over there though. So
yeah, man,
is that jail or something?
Yeah, that's where we work. They lock us up in there.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
That's the taskmaster.
I don't think Hatta's seen the school yet, huh?
No.
You gotta walk next door.
The only thing I've been to when you guys did the big extravaganza that you
the
which
jam.
Which was really, really cool.
Yeah, but we have classes rocking since we started.
Yeah,
like
so
next door.
we'll give you a little tour before you head out.
Okay, cool.
But I want to share this, like I said, on the commitment part. I remember when y'all were having a big fundraiser, and y'all said y'all were gonna
Do y'all still do that?
break. Y'all were gonna
Nah,
they were
we don't
gonna
have to.
break non-stop until they break. What was the number? 30,000? Was the 30?
We wanted to get to $1 million, but
But we raised 30,000.
We shot for the stars.
30,000, right.
Yeah.
But
which you guys supported. Thank you guys so much for
I
that.
remember, like I said, man, you know, it was a non-stop break fest, and so you come out there,
man.
you do.
How long was that?
50
days straight.
They did it for 50 days straight.
50 days, man.
24 hours around the clock. You know, Jeremy would come.
My wife was pregnant
Funky,
at the time.
yeah, his wife was pregnant.
We
this
left
and that,
our
other.
wives.
I was still working at Boom.
Yes, he was still
Yeah.
working at Boom. He
Killing
go break,
yourself.
killing them. They were literally killing themselves.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
were literally killing themselves.
In the
But
name
that's
of
how
hip-hop.
committed
Yeah.
that they were to raise this money for these scholarships
Yeah.
for these other kids,
Wow.
so that these kids can have an opportunity.
I think
it
we
was
were-
one of the, you know, and
Yeah.
I think that's the
That's
part
crazy.
that really gets lost in there is that y'all wasn't doing it to raise money necessarily for y'all. You wanted to, hey man, we got a bunch of people who can't come because they don't have the means. Let's get the means for them, and this is what we're willing to do it. And I remember, like I said, I come out there every couple of days.
I think
But
we had
you know-
about 70 kids that
Right.
came for free for a year.
Right, that came free from a year because of the commitment that y'all had to it. And what I remember me and Jeremy were talking about, one of the greatest lessons about more than anything else, it taught you what you could do. That you know, that you didn't even know that you were capable of doing something like that. And then it purged off the people who didn't believe in your vision. More than anything else, it showed who is fake, who's not really down, who's not really committed.
Yep.
And that's fine.
Yeah, that's
But
totally fine.
This is the end of the line for y'all.
Yep.
This is where you get off the bus.
Yep.
And we're
That's real, man.
And we're going on, and it's one of the things I truly admire. Beside personally, which I've done for me and my family and my son and the things that you've instilled within him, that which I did right there for them.
Thank you, man.
Thank you guys. We appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
I slept outside for 5 days to get people registered. Nowhere near that 50 that y'all put in.
And that's great. That's
Yeah.
physical.
Yeah.
Come on.
But take it from me, 5 days outside in front of Sharpstown Mall ain't sexy, brother.
What was that for?
Literally to get people to register.
register
It started off
to vote?
It literally started off as a joke. This is back in the days. What was my favorite TV show at the time? Oh, I forgot what the name of this.
Oh,
TV show.
the guy,
Chunky
who
head
played
dude.
Iron Man.
Chunky head dude. He had some.
Oh, no, he played Iron Man. He was in the Fantastic Four. He played.
The brick, whatever the
I
brick
don't know
character
what that
is. Anyway, it was some TV show on. So I was like, you know what, man, we got to get people registered to vote. So I'm gonna sit outside in front of Sharpstown Mall.
Sharpstown Mall.
For real, this is before it's
That's
called
rough.
the Mall of Americas now. But
Yeah.
I said I'm gonna sit out there. After I get off the air,
You get 10,000 people to register
I'll
to
get
vote.
5,000 people to register to vote. I'll get
That's
that
early.
done before. I should be home by at least 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Take a shower, watch my favorite TV show.
What did we say about us? We're like, man, we reached a million in
Bruh.
like a
Yeah.
week.
I will never make this mistake.
We had
ever
high
again.
expectations.
Yeah.
I had high expectations too, homie.
Yeah.
I thought 5,000 people getting registered to vote was nothing. Well, 5 to 6 days later,
Damn.
and delirious. And at the end of it, I really was delirious. And I think it was this white woman. And then I'm gonna be done because I know you guys got it right. It was this white woman that brought up this young black kid, and I'll never forget. She said, "I brought him here so he could get registered to vote, but he doesn't understand how important it is to be registered to vote.
Had
He
her
does not
cracks
want to
in
do it."
3, 2.
And I lost it. I just, man, let me.
This is
Yeah,
not
you got
day 5.
I've lost it.
Sneaking in
I'm
the tent
delirious.
outside of Sharpstown Mall
I'm funky.
in October.
I'm delirious. I'm hungry. I'm you think. And this lady walks up at the right time. The end of the broadcast. Probably just got a few more, 20 people to go, and I lose it. And I'm like, man, people have died for you, and I can't believe this, man. I went on a 10-minute cry rant.
Wow.
That I'm happy that nobody ever recorded. And I know it just started off like Martin Luther King and then all the other greats that died for the right for you to vote. And the end result was he did get registered so he could vote. Don't know where this kid at to this day.
After you berated him.
Yeah, man, but I lost it. That's when I knew, I got to get out of here, y'all. And luckily I broke right when we got 5,000 and everybody's yelling, screaming like, I got to go home. I just need sleep because I lost it. But you do need, hopefully those people, I can't wait to see what the election has today since we are here on the broadcast day. I know
Yeah.
this probably,
Get
I
my
know you
sticker.
want this to last the test of time, but if you're not registered, get registered and hopefully you voted today.
Yep,
Very
yep.
important. But I appreciate you guys giving us this opportunity.
Nah,
Let
thank
me
you.
just say that.
Thank
Yeah,
you
man.
guys, man.
We appreciate you,
I had
man.
no clue why you wanted to talk to me.
Nah,
Rob
man.
G,
You guys, you all
But I
look.
thank
We
you.
fall under the umbrella of hip hop, but you guys and y'all's vision and y'all's passion, like it aligns with us. Like Rob G and Hatta of y'all's field, that's more in Jeremy and Breaking as
I
far
love
as the
what you
passion.
guys are really doing, man. This is for me. This is really an honor because I asked Rob, what they want me for?
Well, hopefully, man, that this could continue to grow, and maybe you guys can help us
Well, we
get
have
some
a
people
great
on the
relationship.
show.
We have a great
you know.
relationship with you guys. Our boss, Jeremy,
Adore.
she loves
Yeah.
y'all.
We
She-
love
She
Terry.
think that
We
y'all
love TT.
float and stuff like that. I'm like,
know.
Jeremy doesn't float, Terry.
And
That's
spit
just-
Skittles.
Shout
He spit Skittles and sneezes
out to
candy.
TT. We love Terry.
I've been loving her vibe on Instagram lately too. She's just
Yeah.
been really
Always
very
This lady does
positive,
not
very
get enough
encouraging.
credit. She doesn't get enough credit.
So-
She's very, very positive at all times.
We
All
might
she
get her
wants
on
to
the
do-
show.
All
We
she
need
wants
to.
to do is help people all the time, and it's to a fault. And I tell her because I'm the real one. I like quit helping people
Yeah.
because these people will kick you in your ass because
Yeah.
they don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah,
And
I've learned
it's-
from
and
that
it's-
myself.
And sometimes, and for real,
That's
when
why she's drawn
when
to
you're
us,
nice,
right?
Yeah.
when you're nice and you're beautiful, sometimes, man, other people take advantage.
Yeah.
of
No,
you.
I
And they
agree.
don't understand that you're being blessed with like her and the Rob G. Like I'm very lucky because I work with these heart. I call them heart people.
Yeah.
All they see is love.
Yeah, that's more.
Yeah.
More
Me,
got that big heart.
I see truth. I see that person is evil.
You're
And I
a
can
Jeremy.
see it,
Oh,
and
yeah,
I can
that's
see
me.
it,
Yeah,
and I can
you're a
be-
Jeremy.
As soon as they walk up, I see Rob will tell you, hey, that person
But-
is really evil.
but-
you need them.
So Jeremy's
Because-
that guy,
Right,
but
right.
I'm the bad one every time. To everybody else's eyes, I'm the bad guy.
But they don't know that.
Yeah, they don't know that for sure.
They don't.
You know?
They're not supposed to know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
they
maybe,
love me.
or maybe
Same
they're
thing,
right.
But maybe it's the same thing with our boss too. Just people who are all heart,
Yeah,
all heart. And but sometimes with people with like the Rob G's and you see the way that the world will.
oh yeah,
So you always are in protect mode with those people.
yeah,
because they're nothing but heart.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to protect them, you know,
Yeah.
because they don't know no better. Because all they want to do is love and show appreciation and open doors for people. And unfortunately, I got to be the bad guy. I'm always the bad guy. And I don't mind being the bad guy. I'll be like, no, guys, you can't be.
Here's what y'all don't know.
Yeah.
Hatter is one of the most thoughtful people.
I believe it.
And cool,
I believe it.
cool people. He's
You
got
ruined
this.
my image.
He's got
Yeah,
this.
man.
He's got this persona.
Nah, man.
Yeah, he walked up in here like he was about to kill somebody. Dressing all black.
Right. No,
Hold on,
but that's
this dude, man, hold
that's the
up.
persona that says stay away from me. Stay away from me. Because the thing is, deep down, man, this is one of the best guys I really, really know. It's one of my best friends. It's one of my best friends. I never would have thought that when I first got hired on that it would evolve it, because I looked at him that same way, like. I've heard the stories, you know, on how he is, you know, get too close to the cage, you're gonna get bit, you know. So, but I've learned over the years, this is a great dude.
Yeah.
He's a great dude, like you said, and he'll do anything for you. He'll do anything for you, and he gets a bad rap. So it's out there now, homie.
So-
Sorry.
You big
So
soft.
if you're listening, you're tuning in.
First.
My hardcore image is still intact.
Yeah, if you're listening, tuning in, make sure you follow Matt Hatter at Matt Hatter 97.9
Yeah, thank
on
you.
Instagram and Rob G the General on
On the
Instagram.
box.
These are two just staple guys
Houston Martinez.
that have just
Cosmo.
really
That's Cosmo.
laid it down
That's
for
Cosmo.
Houston,
That's
for
Cosmo.
hip hop, and are changing the game every day they're on the air. And so we
Thank you,
appreciate
man.
your
Thanks for
guys'
having me.
presence.
Appreciate you guys.
I appreciate it.
Much love.
Like, I never talk to Moy, but I follow him, and I love everything that you do. I'm envious of your travel, because I'm not one of those kind of guys.
You gotta
When I
roll with
see
us
you,
one day, bro.
I can't, man. I'm
Roll
not
with
that
us
kind
one
of
day.
guy, man. I'm not that kind of guy. When I see you in Tokyo, I'll be like, ooh. I'm not going. But I'd be like, ooh. You like
I
you
appreciate it,
like
bro.
my local Will Smith. I watch you.
Yeah,
I
okay.
watch you and I'm like envious. Like, oh my God, he's breaking where? Oh, that's crazy. I'm not going.
Well, if you change your mind one day, you can roll with us.
I'm gonna watch out.
We'll show you the world.
Man, y'all keep doing y'all thing.
Yeah, what's up, bro?
As long as you on Instagram,
Of course.
I'm
Then
good.
we good. We good with that, right?
man, but
Well, thank
y'all,
you guys, man. No, I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, man.
Rob G.
You didn't bring me my Starbucks,
Ball sweat
man.
coffee?
My ball sweat coffee.
Don't worry, I got you. Much love, y'all. Peace. See you next episode.
Y'all take care. Thank y'all.